must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Master, no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Master, no one go heaven again. Oh, Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Master, no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Master, no one go heaven again. Oh, Aramidori, Odori, Odori, Bazo, Bella, Wama, Hija. Why no one go heaven? Pastor, no one go heaven. I go. Come on, your eye for touching money. Now, Pastor got up. Members donated. Pull up for cover the pastor. And it's a pastor. Got attacked by a woman. No gunman. Security where they got pastor. Damn no guy pull up for car. So them no gap la boca. Only pastor and family, them they use pull la boca. Pastor no one go heaven, why no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven, Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Pastor no one go heaven, Pastor no one go heaven. Why no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. Oh, Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Pastor no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. Oh, member worship your pastor, them no powers up. Security where they got pastor, them no got bullet fuka. Everybody come and hear pastor. Only pastor no die. Oh, I saw more rolling pastor. What if I tell me so babalawo? What if I went with passing me babalawo? What made me the door? Baby, I see a fire. Let them out. Get him out. Pastor no one go heaven. Why no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven. Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Why no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven. Why no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. Apostoli must to hear this. Pull up a cat of the pastor. Apostoli must to hear this. Not the miracle. Pastor no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. Pastor no one go heaven. Pull up a cat of the pastor. Not the miracle. And it's over now, man, boy, one up, and it out. Pass up by the old, I would have your body. Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Apostoli must to hear this. Pastor no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. Oh, Apostoli must to hear this. Pastor no one go heaven. Apostoli must to hear this. Why you no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven. Why you no one go heaven? Pastor no one go heaven again. We have a cast of the pastor, not the miracle.
ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àti ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tọkọ ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá ń kọ́mọ Adéyẹmọ. Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí ara orúkọ tó ń dẹrù bo lórúkọ gan. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sọ torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú gbé gbòdò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá pọ̀lá wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n ẹni ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àtìmọ̀ṣọ́ kan ká lè débi re ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú alágbàdo òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ dèdèrè wodò sànyà ìsànyà òrẹ́rẹ́ bàbá yín láàrin yìí omi kò sí náà kán sí i lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sánrán ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ fẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho á fi kan pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ àtúnṣẹ́rù wálé wàràmùjẹ ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ṣèṣe tọ́láwọn òní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn òní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà lójú kòmìnrin kọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ní ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlè láéláé torí àbálásọ nìkan dá òkúta òṣèlú fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ ó pọ̀ síbi bódòdó láyé bí ó kù díẹ̀ tí tọ́ domi láéláé tọ́ ilé domi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti rí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Ìgbà ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò tẹ̀lé àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò tẹ̀lé àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba oníṣòwò. Àsìkò ti tó ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò tẹ́lẹ̀ sìmẹ́ntì mọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àfẹ́lẹ́ àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba oníṣòwò. Ọmọ Odùduwà rìpọ́blìkì asọwasọmọ asọwasálàfíà àìkúbalẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àfẹ́lẹ́ àbẹ̀yàmọ́ àfẹ́lẹ́ sìmẹ́sìmọ́ àwọn ìjọba wa ara wọn nìkan náà jà fún ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé rìpọ́blìkì lárugẹ Odùduwà rìpọ́blìkì ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé lárugẹ ó lè san wá sọmọ kó lè san wá sọmọ aṣọ wá sálàfíà àìkúbalẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ a ní àsìkò yìí ti tó ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò yìí ti tó sẹ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àfẹ́lẹ́ àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àfẹ́lẹ́ àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba oníṣòwò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn gbogbo àgbààgbà Yorùbá látòrí emeritus professor Banji Akintoye comrade Victor Taiwo olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho ẹ bá mi tọ́jú bàbá tèmi ààrẹ Gani Adams àti gbogbo Yorùbá akíkanjú ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà lókè òkun látòrí Mr. Adékúnlé Adépọ̀jù àní ìgbà ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Ìgbà ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Àfẹ́lẹ́ àbẹ̀yàmọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àfẹ́lẹ́ sìmẹ́sìmọ́
ọmọ Odùduwà àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba mọ̀lẹ́sí o. ẹ gbogbo Odùduwà republic ó náwó ẹ̀ sókè. èmi náwó mi. ẹni tó fẹ́ Odùduwà republic ẹni tó fẹ́ Odùduwà republic ó náwó ẹ̀ sókè. èmi náwó mi. Odùduwà ó náwó ẹ̀ sókè. èmi náwó mi. ẹni tó bá fẹ́ Odùduwà republic ó náwó ẹ̀ sókè. èmi náwó mi.
And a very good afternoon. Mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Èmi ọmọ yín náà ni àbúrò yín, èmi ẹ̀gbọ́n yín. Èmi tí mo sọ pé gbogbo tí kò bá yé wa nípa Yorùbá nation, ọ̀nà wo la máa gbà, ibo la fẹ́ lọ, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe, ǹjẹ́ àwọn kankan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí tí a lè fi kọ́gbọ́n nínú ẹ̀ lágbàáyé, ibi ìbàyìí lẹ ti máa mọ̀. Pen and paper ẹ jẹ́ kó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yín. Èní ni ọjọ́ 5 nínú oṣù àkọ́kọ́ ti January 2023 and it's exactly 13 minutes past 4 p.m. Bí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ wa yékéyéké ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé tó ń bẹ lóko tó ń bẹ nírìn àjò. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ti rìnrìn àjò lọ 20 years bí a lọ lé bí alẹ́ méjì bí alẹ́ mẹ́ta fún ìdíkan àbí ìdíkejì. Ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ tí mọ́tọ́ tóun fẹ́ padà, ẹlòmíì iṣẹ́ ń gbéra láti fi jápa. Nígbà tí gbogbo wa bá jápa kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ èdè wa tí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí káàkiri, ìjọ́ ògan la fẹ́ padà sílé. Àsìkò wo gan ni a fẹ́ padà sí ilẹ̀ wa tó jẹ́ tiwa gangan? Lótìtọ́ lódodo ó dáa kéèyàn travel torí pé ìyá tó bí mi á máa sọ pé travelling is a very good experience. Kódà béèyàn bá travel ó dájú kéèyàn lọ sí yunifásitì lọ torí pé a ti wá rí i pé gbogbo àwọn tó lọ sí yunifásitì tí wọ́n sì ń pera wọn ní politician, àwọn elite tí wọ́n ń sọ fún wa pé n táwa gbé dání kò ní meaning, kò ní làákàyè nítorí pé ẹ kúkú ní template kankan. But màá sọ fún ilé ní pé ní last year gbogbo wa máa ń gbàgbé ni or even the year before torí pé a ti wà lórí ìrìn àjò yìí nísìn ó ti tọ́jọ́ mélòó kan. There was a 35-page manual tí bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye tó release. Manual and guide ni wọ́n pè é. Kò ṣe dandan pé gbogbo tó wà nínú manual and guide yẹn la gbọ́dọ̀ lò lóòtítọ́. Láàárín méjì ẹ̀ á yọ́nú ẹ̀ á fi sínú ẹ̀. I will prove otherwise today on this platform. But there was a manual. But nítorí pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá à ń fẹ́ ṣe research à dẹ̀ fẹ́ kàwé púpọ̀. gbogbo wa sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation kò tí ì sẹ́ni tó mẹ́nu kúrò níbẹ̀ ó mò ń fẹ́ èmi ò mọ̀ tẹlòmíì bọ́ ní koikimedia mo sọ pé mo fẹ́ but I'm gonna show you that manuscript tí wọ́n release ní 2 years ago before all these problems tí olúkálukú wá sọ nígbà pé àwọn bàbá yẹn mọ tán ṣe ǹjẹ́ nìkankan rí manuscript yẹn kí ló dé tí ẹ gbé pamọ́ tí ẹ fi sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí a ti sọ lórí platform yìí rí but a tún recollect mind wa lé lórí gbogbo ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ fi download ẹ̀ ó ti wà lórí koikimedia tí ẹ máa láǹfààní ẹni bá lọ sórí gbogbo platform wa lórí social media not on YouTube or Instagram but bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lọ sórí Facebook ó pọ̀ gan because it's about 117,000 words ní gbogbo kìíní ẹ mo tẹ́ mọ̀ pé lórí Facebook mo tún kọ́ nǹkan kan lénìí gbogbo tó lè post lórí Facebook kò gbọ́dọ̀ ju 63,000 words lọ nígbà tí mo fẹ́ post kìíní ẹ Facebook sọ fún mi pé ó ti kọjá límìtì in táwọn lè accept láti fi jẹ́ kí n post ẹ̀ wọn á so yan tẹ̀ máa ń lẹ́ẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ni gbogbo tí mo fẹ́ post yẹn ó ti ń lọ bí 117,000 words so ṣé àwọn bàbá yìí ò ní kankan lórí ni wọ́n fi jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn kan mo mọ̀ bí àwọn jọ jókòó kọ́ ni bí bàbá yẹn ló kọ́ fún rẹ̀ ni ló wá sọ pé ẹ lọ máa wo manual yìí ẹ jẹ́ kó jẹ́ bí guide wa gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní WhatsApp group gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní organization ẹ ṣe lọ wo script yẹn àti manual yìí kí a lè fi wo bí a ṣe lè gbé ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation máa tẹ̀síwájú díẹ̀díẹ̀ àmọ́ lẹ́nìí wọ́n náà bàbá yẹn ò ní kankan lórí wọ́n ní wọ́n mọ̀ kankan but 117,000 words èmi rí dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì yẹn báyìí àmọ́ gbogbo èyí tí wọ́n sọ láti joy àìtí rí manuscript ẹyọ kan láti wá fi ṣàpèjúwe fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá mo fẹ́ kí a tún mọ̀ pé lẹ́nìí màá sọ fún yín pé ìlú méjì kan wà tí mo ti lọ ṣe research lé lórí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó point reference mi lọ síbẹ̀ mo ní kò tí ì sí kó sọ fún mi pé ní àgbáyé a lè declare lẹ́ẹ̀mejì Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ni mò ń jẹ́ Koikimedia kò tí ì séyàn kankan tó gbọdọ̀ sọ fún wa pé a lè declare lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ẹni èmi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni kan wá challenge mi kọ́dẹ̀ mú fact àti proof wá fún mi but lẹ́nìí mo ti lọ study ìlú méjì kan declaration tó wà nínú ìlú yẹn ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì lọ ṣe mo ní fẹsẹ̀ orí ètò tá a máa ti kọ́gbọ́n tá a máa ti mọ bó ṣe ń lọ òun lẹ́wà lórí ẹ̀ nítorí pé mo kì í ṣe blogger I am a journalist lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ farabalẹ̀ ẹ má disturb wa ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé yín débi tí a máa sọ̀rọ̀ dé ẹ̀yin náà wá pè wọlé gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe máa ń ṣe mo bẹ̀ wá ni I will not concentrate my effort on looking at the comments but àwọn tó jẹ́ back-end team mi wọ́n monitor gbogbo tó ń lọ but mo fẹ́ fi sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ni pé àwọn 2 million ní Lithuania wọ́n ṣe tó ń pè ní human chain ní 1989 tó ń lọ sí 1990 ó wà lára tí wọ́n fi break ara wọn kúrò nínú Soviet Union wọ́n ò yín ìbọn yẹn kan kábíyèsí Elédùmarè a máa rí footage yẹn nítorí pé mo ti lọ mú jáde wá fún yín ẹ kàn ró lọ́kàn pé tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá bá line up láti Kwara State títí dé Lagos State tí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń join ní human chain tá à ń join ẹ̀ títí tó fi dé sàlẹ̀ ẹ mọrú nǹkan tó lè jẹ́ tó máa mú jáde ní gbogbo àgbáyé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò and welcome once again to the platform. My name is Olayemi Koiki and I say a very good afternoon and welcome to the live broadcast. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí arúgbó, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ pé àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe kò ń ṣe bíi tèrí ètò tẹ́lẹ̀ yìí ibi tí a ti máa fún yín ní information ó wá kù sí wọ lọ́wọ́ nígbà tẹ́mi bá sọ tán kó gbé yẹ̀wò pé ṣé lótìtọ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ yìí àbí irọ́ ni but one thing is tí a bá rí millions of Yoruba people tó jáde síta mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí eré là ń ṣe àìtí lọ́bì kankan nítorí pé àgbáyé máa sọ fún yín pé ẹ tí ì ṣetán láti gba òmìnira yín àgbáyé kankan ní wá fún wa ní òmìnira àmọ́ a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún àgbáyé pé a ti ṣetán láti gba òmìnira wa Once again, a very good afternoon and welcome from wherever you are joining us. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ àgbádùn eléyìí mú bọ̀.
Abdulsalam na fake man. Now you put that constitution for your head, yo. Abdulsalam na fake man. Now military man come tell una say una get constitution. Don't be na lie, yo. Na fake, na fraud, oh. That constitution. Now in there they say close to na eye, yo. Now wake up, now wake up, oh.
Àwọn àǹfààní tí ó máa wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá fún àwọn ọmọ onílùú: ìtọ́jú ìlera ọ̀fẹ́, ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́, àǹfààní fún ilé gbígbé, àǹfààní fún àwọn ọmọdé, ètò ààbò tó péye. Òkùnkùn paradà, ìmọ́lẹ̀ dé, èyí túmọ̀ sí pé a máa níná nígbàkígbà àti lóòrèkóòrè. Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ló máa jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ nínú ohun gbogbo. Ìyà àti owó oṣù tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ́ oṣù. Gbogbo àgbáyé yóò máa wá gbáfẹ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá títí a mọ̀ sí tourism, ètò ìfẹ̀yìntì tó péye. Ọ̀nà tó tẹ́jú tó sì dára yóò wà káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó múnádóko pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn fún gbogbo àwọn àgbẹ̀. Àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ tó gbayì jù ní gbogbo àgbáyé yóò wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ètò ẹ̀kọ́, ètò ààyè ẹ̀kọ́ tó dára jù ní gbogbo àgbáyé yóò sì wà. Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ni yóò jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ fún ìdàgbàsókè ohun tó dára jù ní gbogbo àgbáyé. A kò ní nílò físà ìwé ìrìnnà fún ìrìn-àjò láti lè lọ sí òkè òkun mọ́. Ìrọ̀rùn ló máa bá dé fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá àti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ onílùú. Àyíká tó dára pẹ̀lú ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn tó fẹ́ bá wa ṣòwò ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè aláṣẹ, orílẹ̀-èdè tí a kọ́ sórí àpáta tó lágbára tí kò sì lè yẹ̀ láéláé.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan ṣe, and I say a very good afternoon and welcome to the program. My name is Yomi Koiki, and I welcome you as we about to go into the conversation this afternoon. There will be a lot to discuss, but to start with, has anybody ever come across these? Or maybe it was there, but we probably Mulu. Script tí à ń wò yìí, or ìtàlẹ̀pẹ̀ ní manual àbí guide, was released about some few years ago nígbà tí ìrìn àjò Yorùbá Nation bẹ̀rẹ̀. 35 page ni. I won't go through everything, but ìwọ tó ń gbọ́ mi o láǹfààní àti lọ download ẹ̀ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tó bá lọ sórí koikimedia.com. Tó bá ti ń wọrí website yẹn, wàá rí níbẹ̀, òun láti gbé síwájú yẹn. Yoruba towards self-determination. Yoruba nation chooses the noble path to its noble goal. A manual of the Yoruba self-determination struggle for Yoruba self-determination advocate at home and in diaspora, Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Kí wọn náà kó lọ study ẹ̀ fún àǹfààní wọ tí òun sọ pé kò sí kankan tó fún wa níbi guide. Lótìtọ́ lódodo, a lè má agree pẹ̀lú gbogbo tó wà nínú guide kan, but there was a template of a guide, and that guide is part of where we're going to start this morning, this afternoon, this evening. It's coming up to 4:20 p.m. January 6, 2023, Thursday. Towards Yoruba self-determination. Yoruba nation chooses the noble path to its noble goal. A manual of the Yoruba self-determination struggle for all Yoruba self-determination advocates at home and in diaspora. Professor Banji Akintoye. Ẹ jẹ́ ká go through introduction ẹ̀. The following is a guide or manual. Tó bá pè nǹkan ní guide, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo kí ni meaning ẹ̀ ní dictionary. Tó bá sọ pé nǹkan guide, pé kí ni guide? Tó bá sọ pé guide, what is the meaning?
Guide.
Again,
Guide.
one more time.
Guide.
A person who shows the way to others. Èèyàn tó ń fi ọ̀nà mọ̀yàn fáwọn tí kò mọ̀. Especially one employee to show tourists around places of interest. So tí a bá ti ní eléyìí tẹ́lẹ̀, that means pé lótìtọ́ lódodo wọ́n ti fún wa ní guide. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo ìtàn pè ní manual. Kí ni English dictionary manual lénìí? Once again, these. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo meaning manual. Meaning and pronunciation.
Manual.
Again,
Manual.
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 Relating to or do with the hands. A book giving instructions or information. So àpẹẹrẹ ti show pé ní a year ago before today or even 2 years as we were going into the Yoruba nation self-determination struggle, there was a manual and a guide that was released, which is about 35 pages. Ẹni tó bá náà ò bá pàdé rí, ẹ ti láǹfààní bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lọ sórí koikimedia or Koiki Oduduwa or Koiki Oduduwa page. Mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn a ti copy ẹ̀, ó wà níbẹ̀. Ìwọ náà lọ study ẹ̀. I will see if we can translate it to Yoruba. Fáfàní èyí tí kò ní àǹfààní àti gbọ́ èdè òyìnbó because èdè òyìnbó kò kí ń ṣe èdè tiwa, is a borrowed language. But this is a language that we will continue to use. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa sọ pé ẹ̀yẹ́ máa sọ English, ẹ̀yẹ́ máa sọ English. We are still dealing with the international community. As much as à ń carry along gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, a gbọ́dọ̀ understand pé àwọn tá à ń bá fà á, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ní àgbáyé òyìnbó ni wọ́n gbọ́, wọn ò gbọ́ Yorùbá. Bí a bá ti gbà ló tán, gẹ́gẹ́ bí oríṣiríṣi ìlú tó wà lágbàáyé tó ń sọ èdè wọn, kò sí nǹkan kan tó wrong níbẹ̀. Ibi tá a ti kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó dé nìní, mo kàn fún yín ní a bit of innovate. Ìkejì tá a máa tún sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, òun ni ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan gẹ́gẹ́ bí in tí a ti lọ yẹ̀wò tí ó dẹ̀ confam, tí ó dẹ̀ jẹ́rìí, òun ni pé Azerbaijan ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ló ń celebrate independence nílùú yẹn. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ni wọ́n celebrate independence. Ó dàbí ìgbà tá a bá máa ní Nàìjíríà ń celebrate independence ní October 1st. Kí a tún wá sọ pé Nàìjíríà tún celebrate independence ní ọjọ́ míì. So kéèyàn kan má jáde kó sọ fún wa pé a lè declare independent ilẹ̀ Yorùbá again. Ìyẹn kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tí ó wà lórí tébù nísìnyí. Mo kàn fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rí i pé ẹ̀rí wà pé ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí níbìkan lágbàáyé tó ń pè ní Azerbaijan. Ìlú ogan ni Azerbaijan, báwo ni tí wọ́n ṣe jẹ́? Azerbaijan, the nation and the former Soviet Republic, is bounded by the Caspian Sea and the Caucasus Mountain, which span Asia and Europe. Its capital is Baku, is famed for its medieval walled inner city. Within the inner city lies the palace of the Shibanshavs, a royal retreat dating to 15th century, just as bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ti wà for centuries kó tó di pé wọ́n amalgamate gbogbo wa papọ̀. Gbogbo population Azerbaijan as at 2022 bí World Bank ṣe sọ fún wa is 10.15 million. Wọ́n ní official language tí wọ́n ń pè ní Azerbaijan. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní ìlú wọn tó ń ṣe ẹ̀mú yẹn sọ́wọ́. Wọ́n ń pèlú kan ní Lithuania. Lithuania celebrate independence lẹ́ẹ̀mejì lágbàáyé. ní ọdọọdún ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ló ń celebrate independent. Kí ni àwọn ìdí tó fi ń celebrate àwọn independent yìí? À sọ̀rọ̀ débẹ̀ nígbà tí a bá ń gbé yẹ̀wò lẹ́yọkan ní méjì. Why Lithuania celebrate two independent? A máa padà wá lórí ẹ̀. But ìlú wo gan ló ń pè ní Lithuania? Àti pé báwo ni tí wọ́n ṣe jẹ́ lágbàáyé? Níbo làwọn náà ti ṣẹ̀ wá? According to what we have, Lithuania, officially the Republic of Lithuania, is a country in the Baltic region of Europe. It is one of the 3 Baltic states and lies on the eastern shore of the Baltic Sea. Lithuania shares land borders with Latvia to the north, Belarus to the east and south, Poland to the south, and Russia to the southwest. Gbogbo population Lithuania as at today, well, as at 2021, kí má sọ pé lénìí because update létí wà wọ́n ti lè bímọ díẹ̀ sí àwọn kan ti lè kó níbẹ̀. But according to the World Bank, wọ́n jẹ́ kó yé wa pé 2.795 million ní gbogbo population Lithuania. Mo rò pé wọ́n tó population state kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Official language tiwọn náà Lithuania ni. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n celebrate independence lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ní àgbáyé? À sọ̀rọ̀ débẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo à ń bọ̀ lórí eléyìí padà. Àwọn ọmọ Lithuania wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan tó jọ gbogbo aráàlú tó jọ gbogbo àgbáyé. Wọ́n àfẹ́ lè sọ pé irú ẹ̀ ti wáyé rí. Ǹjẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá náà lè ṣe nǹkan kan tó máa jẹ́ kí gbogbo àgbáyé mọ̀ pé lótìtọ́ lódodo a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà? A dẹ̀ ní nǹkan ìjà tá a fẹ́ fi bá Nàìjíríà jà nítorí pé a ní fire power bí Federal Republic of Nigeria tí wọ́n spend as at last year. Gbogbo owó tó ń ná fún military Nàìjíríà ó ń lọ bí 129 billion. Kódà gbogbo owó tí gbogbo wa ti ná tí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ara wa àtàwa tá náwó àtàwa tá ná, mo rò pé ó tó owó tí Nigerian government tó kó sílẹ̀ whether wọ́n ná gbogbo owó yẹn ni o wọ́n ló tán ni o ní last year is about 125 billion. But nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1989 going into 1990-1991 nígbà tí àwọn Lithuania bínú tán wọ́n náwọn ní kan táwọn fẹ́ fi bá the mighty of the Soviet Union jà. But wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan tó jọ gbogbo aráàlú tó jọ gbogbo àgbáyé lójú. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré wo díẹ̀ nínú fídíò yẹn ká wo kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan. This is part of the traction tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ fi sọ́kàn pé way forward ni pé kí gbogbo wa gbọ́dọ̀ fi sọ́kàn pé tí a bá ṣe nǹkan tó wà spectacular, tí a bá ṣe nǹkan kan tó wà tó jẹ́ pé a máa jẹ́ nǹkan tí gbogbo àgbáyé á máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí àti ayé tí a wà nísìnyí àtayé tí a tún máa sọ pé lọ́jọ́ míì à ń wo ti àwọn Lithuania àwa náà lè ṣe something different a dẹ̀ lè ṣe something similar. But 1989 títí di wákàtí fídíò yìí ó ṣì ń trend. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wò lọ.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Harold Simpson.
Good evening. We begin tonight with an anniversary whose commemoration makes the Soviet Union very uneasy. On this date in 1939, Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin carved up Eastern Europe. Today, 2 million residents of the Baltic states linked hands to protest not only what happened 50 years ago, but to send a message of defiance to Moscow today. Here's ABC's Jim Laurie.
A human chain of protest. In Tallinn, the Estonian capital, hundreds of thousands turned out to mourn what they see as their loss of independence 50 years ago today. Using radio broadcasts to coordinate their chain, people all across the Baltic states formed a line for nearly 400 miles. It stretched from Estonia through Latvia to Lithuania. There were freedom songs and cheers among those who remembered when the Baltics were free, and signs.
We used to be in a free country, and that's what we are fighting for. And we will fight, not with the guns or aeroplanes or bombs, but we'll fight for a free freedom.
What people here now demand is that Moscow repeal the deal signed so long ago between Stalin and the Nazis. They want complete independence from Moscow. They want to run their own economy, their own society. While Moscow has now moved to denounce the 1939 pact as immoral, it says it makes no difference to the status of the Baltics now.
They want to keep us in the Union at any cost. They don't want to let us go.
This anniversary has served to embolden the independence movement to present yet another challenge to Mikhail Gorbachev. Yet a Soviet TV commentary tonight made it plain real independence is not an option. Mutual trust and negotiation, say the Soviets, are the answer. History must not aggravate the events of today. Jim Laurie, ABC News, Moscow.
The non-aggression pact signed 50 years ago changed the face not only of Europe, but of the world. The pact between Adolf Hitler...
Ǹjẹ́ àwa náà lè ṣe nǹkan kan tó máa change gbogbo àgbáyé tí the world would understand the power of the Yoruba people? Àbí akọ̀ máa kóra wa tá a máa jókòó sínú social media tí gbogbo wa jọ wà nínú ẹ̀ yìí tá à ń dí sí bara wa pé a fẹ́ gba òmìnira Yorùbá nínú ibi tí a wà tí gbogbo àgbáyé ò tí gbọ́ mẹ́sẹ̀gì yẹn dáadáa. This happened in 1989. À ń padà bọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Once again, ó tún mú mi lọ sí ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Belarus Democratic Republic. Ǹjẹ́ gbogbo wa mọ̀ pé ìlú kan wà lénìí tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ni the oldest still functioning government in exile? Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Nígbà táwa bá dẹ̀ sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe government in exile, àwa fẹ́ gba ìlú wa ni a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe something spectacular. Nínú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí a gbọ́ tán nínú àwòrán tá a wò yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ wo ti ọmọ ìlú wọn gangan, the same video but in their own language. A ní gbọ́ èdè tó ń sọ lóòótọ́, but àmọ́ a máa fi ẹ̀mí bá lọ. 5 minutes náà ni fídíò yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká lo díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀. Àǹfààní èdè pé kí ọmọ Yorùbá dá dúró kí a lè máa fi èdè bára wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ wo irú èdè tí wọ́n lò ní 1989. Ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ pé ìlú tí wọ́n ń sọ yìí tó ń pè ní Lithuania, òun náà ni ìlú tí mò ń sọ fún ilé nǹkan pé gbogbo population wọn is 2.79 million. Àmọ́ tí a bá lọ wo passport index ọmọ Lithuania lénìí, òun ló ránkì number 11 ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Ìwọ tó ń sọ pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn tí o há sí Dubai, tó ń sọ pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn tó há sínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, tó ń sọ pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn tó há sí northern part of Nigeria, ìwọ tó ń sọ pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn tó há sí Europe, ìwọ tó ń sọ pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn tó há sí Asia. Ibikíbi tó bá wà lágbàáyé tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà, pálí tó gbé dání yẹn kò ní value kankan fún ẹ. Ó kúkú bẹ́tà kó wá bó ṣe máa dé Lithuania tí wọ́n gba òmìnira tí wọ́n jà fún, táwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn jáde in the millions tí wọ́n line up gbogbo street tí gbogbo àgbáyé gbé ó dẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀kì wọn kúrò. Freedom tí wọ́n gbà ní almost ẹ bá wa multiply 1989 títí di wákàtí ọmọdún mélòó? Bọ́bá bí èèyàn ní 1989 ọmọdún mélòó ni? Ẹ bá mi sáré kọ síta, nítorí pé àwọn tó bí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn-ún àti ọmọ tó bí ní Nàìjíríà, èwo lẹ́rò pé ó ní èwo lẹ́rò pé ó ní ìgbádùn jù? Ọmọ tó bí ní 1989 sínú Nàìjíríà àti ọmọ tó bí sí 1989 sí Lithuania tó gba independent wọn kúrò lára Soviet Union. Ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ pé passport ọmọ Lithuania ó ní value ju ọmọ tó bí ní 1989 tó wà ní Nàìjíríà lọ. This is why we are saying that we need the final push to get the hell out of Nigeria. My name is OLAMILEKAN. You're watching a live broadcast, and as we say, 33 years old. So ọmọ 33 years old lẹ́ni nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ọ̀kadà ló ń gùn káàkiri, but ọmọ Lithuania ó láǹfààní àti travel káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé tó bá wù with less than 115 countries ló lè lọ. Ẹ wá jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ wo àwọn ìlú wo ló lè lọ. Ṣé ìlú gbòógì ló lè lọ ni àbí ìlú yáwáyáwá? Nítorí pé ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó ní passport tó jẹ́ ọmọ 34 years old lẹ́ni ní January 2023 tó bá bí ní January 5 ní 1989 ó ti di 34 years old. Kò tí lè rìn láti Nàìjíríà lọ sí Kútọnú nítorí pé àwọn Fúlàní wà ní border tí wọ́n ń pa yín ní gbogbo borderline tí wọ́n jẹ́ kẹ́ gbóúnjẹ wọlé, tí wọ́n ń pa yín tó tẹ̀ tó di pé wọ́n fẹ́ wá travel láti inú airport o lè gba visa dé South Africa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ sáré wo irú ìlú wo nìyẹn lè lọ pẹ̀lú passport Lithuania lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó. èyí tó bá jẹ́ green nínú tẹ́ ń wò yìí òun ni visa free. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo irú àwọn ìlú wo ló lè lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wò ó. Wọ́n lè lọ sí Belgium. Belgium is part of an European country. Mo tẹ̀ tí fẹ́ sọ àwọn ìlú tó jẹ́ bí àwọn ìlú tá à ní value bí Angola, àwọn Afghanistan àbí Albania. But nínú àwọn ìlú tí mo rí tó jẹ́ green, bí o bá ní passport Lithuania lẹ́nìí, o láǹfààní àti wà ní Belgium because visa free ni because Lithuania is part of the European country. Ìyẹn lákọ̀ọ́kọ́. Tó bá ní passport wọn lọ́wọ́, o láǹfààní àti lọ sí Austria again because they are part of the European country. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún wá sísàlẹ̀. Tó bá ní passport Lithuania lọ́wọ́, o láǹfààní láti tún lọ sí Denmark. Ẹ rí i pé àwọn ìlú tó jẹ́ ìlú gbòógì ni mò ń dárúkọ ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó bá ní passport Lithuania lọ́wọ́, o tún láǹfààní àti wá sí Finland níbi tí Simon Ekpa wà. Tó bá ní passport Lithuania, o láǹfààní àti lọ sí France tó tẹ̀ nídìí láti gba visa. Ẹ wá wo ìyàtọ̀ pẹ̀lú irú wàhálà tó ṣe kó tó di pé àwọn ọmọ tó bí ní 1989 jàgbà kan jàǹfààní ẹ̀. Ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké nínú àwòrán yìí. Kẹ wá fi compare sáwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Èdè ni wọ́n sọ níbí, but a máa gbọ́ èdè yẹn náà ni by fire by force.
Sveiki, ką jūs, nepriklausomybės vaikai? Taip, jūs žinot, čia sausio 13-osios vaizdai, televizijos bokštas, Lietuvos virsmas, nepriklausoma valstybė. 1991. O čia 1989. Baltijos kelias. 620 km gyva, 2 milijonų žmonių grandinė, sujungusi Vilnių, Rygą, Talliną. O juk šiuolaikinio ryšio priemonių nebuvo ir net automobilių trūko. Komunikacija vyko per radijo imtuvus, iš lūpų į lūpas miestelių ir kaimų bendruomenėse perdodant žinią.
Ṣé ẹ rí èrò?
Ar žinot,
ṣé ẹ rí àwọn èrò tó jáde? Àwa fẹ́ gba independent tiwa lórí social media. Ṣé ẹ ń rí àwọn ọmọ Lithuania tó jáde? Ṣé wá rí àǹfààní tó ń jẹ lẹ́nu less than 34 years ago? But àwa nísìnyí ṣe rí èrò tó ń jáde tí wọ́n line up in their millions tó ń sọ pé àwọn ò níbọn, àwọn ò ní ògùn, àwọn ò ní kankan, àmọ́ àwa máa jáde. This is why we are telling the Yoruba people. Ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ ń sọ pé àsìkò tí tó pé ká tún jáde, a fẹ́ waste owó ni, kàn wọ́n owó ni. Ìbéèrè tí mo wá ń bi yín ni pé ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ the value of human power? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ báyìí. Once again, a very good afternoon and welcome. A fẹ́ dúró lórí Lithuania. This is their population. And I want us to remember something. Mo á tún fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí láti fi sọ fún àwọn ọmọ mi wa tí wọ́n ti bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ lórí petition. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè bá wa send the message sí gbogbo àwọn 5 million tó wà lórí database yẹn pé kí wọ́n jáde síta? Ǹjẹ́ nígbà tí a ti ní petition 5 million, at least a gba telephone number nínú àwọn petition yẹn tí a bá rántí kí wọ́n bá wa send a lè embedded technology ti débẹ̀ kí wọ́n send 5 million messages síta automatically kó lè reflect sí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ ní inú ilé pẹ̀lú àwọn àtàwà níta. It is possible. Since tí 5 million petition wà ní ọwọ́ wọn, kó bá wa send the message síta so that kí message yẹn kó lè káàkiri sí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nínú ilé pé kẹ́ jáde síta o, nítorí pé ìjáde wa ó wà very very important. So let's continue and come back here. So nígbà tá ti mọ meaning manual, báwo ló ṣe wá ń lò ó? Béèyàn bá sọ pé what is the definition of manual? A ti padà sórí manual and guide tí àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè tó release some few years ago. Ẹni tó bá náà wò gbọ́ rí tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ ti gbọ́ léni pé this was released prior to when the Yoruba Nation movement was going on, and this is a guide, is a manual. Lótìtọ́ ní gbogbo àgbáyé wọ́n máa ń yọ nǹkan wá fi sínú ẹ̀, kò mí pé a gbọ́dọ̀ accept gbogbo nǹkan fi síta. But there was a manual and a guide so kéèyàn kan má tún ever sọ pé wọ́n fún yín ní template kan láti fi ṣe Yorùbá nation. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ní WhatsApp group mo sọ fún yín pé it's just a chat group. Tó bá jẹ́ pé nínú WhatsApp group yín lẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń digest manual yìí ní kékèké ní díẹ̀díẹ̀ olúkálukú á rí n tó máa rí lò. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ bá wa sọ fún mọ́mì wa kó bá wa fi 5 million petition yẹn ká fi send the message síta tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá because mo mọ̀ pé at least about 2 million Yorùbá people ló sign petition yẹn according to what we are told nílé. So that is telephone number ti wà lọ́wọ́ wọn so kọ́kọ́ bá wa send one message kó send ẹ̀ sórí petition numbers yẹn láti sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ó wà important pé kó jáde láti ṣe reclaiming. Let's continue. The following is a guide or manual. Nígbà tá ti understand the meaning of guide and manual, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo meaning ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Tó bá sọ pé what is the definition of manual? Kò sí ẹni tó bá ra mọ́tò lénìí, kódà tó bá ra second hand mọ́tò, mẹkáníìkì máa sọ fún ẹ pé ó nírú engine oil tó lè fi sínú ẹ̀. Tó bá fi a wrong engine oil sínú ẹ̀, ó ṣeé ṣe kí engine yẹn kó knock. O lè ra mọ́tò diesel kó wá ní o fẹ́ rọ petrol sínú ẹ̀ àfi tó bá change engine yẹn. Nǹkan ń pè ní manual nìyẹn. Kò síbì kankan ní gbogbo àgbáyé tí kò ní sí manual àti manuscript téèyàn máa lò. There must be a manual. So àwọn bàbá kí tó yẹ fún wa ní manual wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa ní guide. Whether wá tẹ̀lé àtẹ̀lé ó kù sí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́wọ́. Need láti accept manual àti guide wọn but àwọn fi manual àti guide síta fún gbogbo wa kólúkálukú lọ wò ó kólúkálukú ẹgbẹ́ oríṣiríṣi wọ́n sọ pé àwọn làwọn ní wọ́n ní is a guide and manual. O lè yọ kúrò nú ẹ̀ àìmọye èèyàn tó ti send mọ́tò diesel lọ sílé tó yọ engine ẹ̀ tó sọ di mọ́tò ní petrol àìmọye oríṣi mò ń wò kankan lórí Instagram ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra mọ́tò tí seat belt ẹ bá ti yàtọ̀ sí ìtọ́kọ sí ẹ̀gbẹ́ tó bá lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yìn seat belt mọ́tò tó fẹ́ rà tí ó bá yàtọ̀ sí panel tó wà ní driver's passenger side níbi tó máa ń kọ kinní sí á jẹ́ pé mọ́tò yẹn ti ní accident rí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mọ́tò tó dẹ̀ ń kó wá láti Amẹ́ríkà they are accidental cars. Ó ṣeé ṣe pé nígbà tí wọ́n gbé délé wọ́n ti yọ seat belt tó bá wá àbí kọ́ máa yọ àmọ́ tí wọ́n bá fa gbogbo seat belt yẹn láti òkè wá sísàlẹ̀ tó bá ti rí àpẹẹrẹ omi níbẹ̀ mọ́tò yẹn ń kọ́ ó ṣeé ṣe pé ó ti wà nínú omi tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. So nígbà tí wọ́n ti fún wa ní guide tó ti fún wa ní manual ó jẹ́ kí a lè wá sọ pé yes àgbàyín gbọ́ bọ̀ kéèyàn kankan má tún jáde kó má sọ pé wọ́n fún yín ní manual àti guide. Let's go ahead. The following is a guide. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo meaning guide as a word as well. Tó bá sọ pé nǹkan guide kò sí ẹni tó dèbú kan ó gbọ́dọ̀ ní guidance because guidance yẹn ló máa guide ẹ pé má lọ jókòó síbi tí wọ́n ti ń ta gbó má lọ jókòó síbi tí wọ́n ti máa mú ẹ nítorí pé ò níwèé. Mò ń wo fídíò kan àwọn ọmọ wa kan tó wà ní Libya tó ń sọ pé wò wá nísìnyí o àníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ because Libya ò kì í ṣe ìlú àmọ́ ó sì tẹ́ gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ́rùn láti sá lọ sí Libya nítorí pé wọ́n rò pé táwọn bá dé Libya ayé àwọn máa dá. But one thing is Libya ò ní nǹkan tí Nàìjíríà ní but Nigeria is just a big elephant. It's the shittest country in the world. Kò ní value kankan ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé 2023 will not give you any result. Let's continue. So what is the word for guide? Some common synonyms of guide are engineer, lead, pilot, and steel. While all these words mean to direct in course or show the way to be followed, guide implies initiated knowledge of the way and of difficult and danger. Lótìtọ́ wọ́n lè fún wa ní guide kárí pé no guide tí àwọn bàbá yìí fún wa kò dáa. Wọ́n lè fún wa ní guide ká sọ pé no ẹ má ẹ̀ka ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ká lo báyìí. But one thing is there was a guide and there was a manual. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ fi ka gbogbo guide yẹn tó fún wa is a 35 page. You can go on our Facebook àti fi síbẹ̀ or you can go on KOKIMEDIA website and you will find it there as well. Let's continue. So ẹ jẹ́ ká close the list so that we don't have too many browser. Ẹni tó bá wonder irú software wo ni mò ń lò is called OBS. Òun la fi ń ṣe program tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. My name is Olayemi Koiki, and it's Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. And in January 5, this is a live transmission. The following is a guide or manual for the use of all Yoruba patriots engaged in the struggle for Yoruba self-determination. It supplies to all supporters of the self-determination struggle the kind of information that we need to prosecute the struggle and supply guide to the struggle strategies and methods. Though this manual was motivated in the context of one main organization, Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà, it is meant to be a fighting manual. Tó bá sọ pé nǹkan fighting, kí ni meaning ẹ̀? Ẹ jẹ́ ká break it down. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kò mọ̀ pé àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n sọ yìí náà, àwọn náà ń jà ní pé kó ayé ọmọ Yorùbá lè dá, àmọ́ àwọn ò ní sọ bí àwa ṣe ń sọ. Tó bá sọ pé kíní kan fighting, kí ló mean?
Fighting.
Again,
Fighting.
The action of fighting, violence or conflict. But àwa ń dúró kí bàbá Akíntóyè máa sọ fún wa pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa di violent. À ń dúró kí bàbá Akíntóyè máa sọ fún wa pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa di conflict. It is already in the guide. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá wo fighting. What is the other meaning of fighting? Action, altercation, argument, battle, bout, brawl, clash, combat, conflict, confrontation, contest, controversy, disagreement, dispute, duel, exchange, feud, match, melee, quarrel. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló wà nínú fighting. So guide tí wọ́n fún wa yìí has already given us everything that I've explained. It is a fighting manual. Ó wá kù bí organization tí ẹ ṣe fẹ́ lò. Ó wá kù bí organization tí ẹ ṣe fẹ́ lò. Whether ẹ̀yin tẹ set up Telegram, tẹ rò pé Telegram yẹn ó ti di nǹkan bàbàrà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni nǹkan bàbàrà ni because ní 20 years ago, ní 34 years ago, àwọn tó ń bẹ ní Soviet Lithuania, àwọn ò ní access sí intern pè ní technology ta nílé ni. So imagine tí a bá send the signal síta bí a ti ṣe ń ṣe program yìí, tí a sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde, àmọ́ ta ló lè send irú signal yẹn tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá máa jáde? Ṣé èèyàn kan ni? Ṣé èèyàn méjì ni? Ṣé ẹgbẹ́ ni? But we need the fighting manual. And the fighting manual is what Koikimedia have been giving you for the last 3 years. Once again, a very good afternoon. Fighting manual for all persons and organizations. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Mo ń bọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká take a short interlude and we'll come back.
Ìgbà ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ọ̀tun ti dé ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò sẹ́lẹ̀yàmẹ̀yà mọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò sẹ́lẹ̀yàmẹ̀yà mọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba pólísì o. Àsìkò ti tó ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó ọmọ Odùduwà. Kò sẹ́lẹ̀ sìmẹ́ntì mọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àbẹ̀lẹ̀yàmẹ̀yà mọ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Àsìkò ti tó láti gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba pólísì o. Ọmọ Odùduwà rìpọ́bìlìkì àtọwásọmọ àtọwásálàbíà àìkúbalẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àfẹ́lẹ́yàmẹ̀yàmọ́ àfẹ́lẹ́.
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ti ìkànnì Koikimedia níbi tí a ti ń gbé yẹ̀wò gbogbo ọ̀nà tí a máa fi kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kí Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó kọ́ wa sọ́nà kó dẹ̀ fún wa ṣe. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sínú ibi tí a ti ń bá ètò yẹn lọ. Though this manner was motivated in the context of the main organization, Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà, it is meant to be a fighting manual for all persons and organizations that are engaged in the struggle for Yoruba self-determination and sovereignty. Very importantly, expanded Very importantly, it is based on the fundamental character of the Yoruba nation as a civilization building nation, a nation with goodwill and hospitality towards all other nationalities. It is also based on the humble and sincere obedience of all persons working for Yoruba self-determination to manifest demand of the whole Yoruba nation. The demand that the struggle for Yoruba self-determination must be peaceful, law-abiding, knowledge-driven, purpose-driven, and disciplined. Now let's go further. The manual. This manual is also intended to provide to the wide world the basic details of the Yoruba nation's reason for now seeking to assert its self-determination and the sovereignty separate from Nigeria, namely the Yoruba people devastating experience in Nigeria, the progressive and now almost total destruction of democracy in Nigeria, the primitive and blood-curdling agenda of ethnic cleansing and genocide in Nigeria, the constant human brutalization, pains and death, and the regime of crimes against humanity in Nigeria. The altogether pulling of Nigeria recklessly down into utter barbarism, a land of unimaginable, almost subhuman viciousness of man against man, a land in which humans violently take all substance, all hope, and all life from other humans with casual abandon, hour by hour. A land in which human blood is spilled continually into a swelling stream of human blood. Pé ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ó mú ẹ̀jẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá fún àǹfààní gbogbo àwọn tí a bá ń wò pé èdè òyìnbó yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. Having evolved and lived a life of civilized culture for thousands of years, and I can quickly give us one image that was sent to me, which we were able to use, I think, some few days ago. Image kan tí ó báàkì ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ yìí. I hope we still have that image somewhere here. Yeah, tá bá wo image yìí, àwọn òyìnbó bá wa dáadáa. Wọ́n bá wa ní àlàáfíà, wọ́n bá wa ní civilization. But now, civilization yẹn ó ti wà backwards. So this is what they were trying to explain in that particular information tí mò ń pass it out. Let's go back into it. So, having evolved and lived a life of civilized culture for thousands of years, tí a tún lè fi ẹ̀rí bákẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí a bá lọ wo sculpture yìí, this sculpture tí ẹ̀ ń wò yìí is 700 years old. That means pé ó ju Nàìjíríà lọ. Ìyẹn sculpture tí ẹ̀ ń wò lẹ́yìn mi. Kódà sculpture yìí at some point wọ́n kó wá sí United Kingdom láti bá fi ṣe exhibition. Ìwọ náà wá máa rò pé àwa tí wọ́n bá ní civilization in tó lè mú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn bàbá ńlá wa tí wọ́n fi ń ṣerú nǹkan báyìí kóyìnbó tó dé kó tó pè wá ní Nàìjíríà, sórí pé a ti wà civilized. But lẹ́nìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ká sì wà nínú Nàìjíríà, bóyá Nàìjíríà máa ṣe kí ni, a san wá dáadáa, a san wá sówó, a san wá sàlàáfíà. Èmi wàá mọ̀ bóyá Nàìjíríà ń san yín sówó, ó san yín sàlàáfíà. But ìdé mi mọ̀ ni pé kò san wá sówó, kò lè san wá sàlàáfíà. Once again, a very good afternoon and good evening and welcome. So, having evolved and lived a life of civilized culture for thousands of years, a culture of tender respect for life, for property, for differences in human conditions, circumstances, and choice for foreign peoples of different cultures and tongues. The Yoruba nation now to seek to take his life into his own hands. Pé a fẹ́ gbara wa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà tí kò wọ́ fún yàn kankan. Moving forward, as a civilization building nation in the world, and to save his people from further exposure to the Nigerian culture of brutality, destructiveness, perpetual violence upon religious freedom, relentless bloodletting, and push towards upper barbarism. Yoruba nation glorious past. So wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí take wa padà sẹ́yìn. Like I said, we will take a little bit of this, but I won't be able to read everything. It's about 35 pages. But ẹ jẹ́ ká ka díẹ̀ sí nínú ẹ̀. The past glory of Yoruba people before the 1914 amalgamation. We Yoruba nation came into Nigeria in 1914 with a great history. We have developed great intellectual tradition since the millennia before then. The best in modern research has shown that we Yoruba had known binary mathematics and had been using it in times as early as 500 BC, which binary mathematics was not known to Europeans until recent times, and which became the basis for making of the computer in the 1950s. Since the 9th century AD, we had been progressive, urbanized people. By the time the first European explorer, just as we were told that River Niger was found by Mungo Park, we have now been able to tell the world that Irolopa, Mungo Park never founded River Niger. Baba gon find the River Niger, ambosibosi Mungo Park. Gbogbo tó sọ fún wa nínú history nínú Nigeria nìyẹn for a very long time, by giving us all these false narrative pé àwọn òyìnbó dájú wá lọ. And today, tí a bá ṣe tó wà spectacular láti prove fáwọn òyìnbó yẹn padà pé nígbà àwa la nílẹ̀ wa. But that would only happen with a big message, not just on social media, not just by prayer alone. It has to be a human chain. Just as we told you earlier in that video that I will take you back a little bit, that happened in 1989 when the Lithuania were fighting the same cause, just as táwa náà fight nìsín. Àwọn olórí méjì, in tó bá mú àwọn olórí méjì, ẹ jẹ́ ká rántí pé àwa náà láṣẹ kí ni, we have to do what we have to do. Èdè ló sọ ní bíbá ní gbọ́ gbogbo tó sọ, but I'm just going to take you back again slightly. These are the human chain that was happening in 1989, just as we were told by these broadcaster in August 23rd, 1989.
On this date in 1939, Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin carved up Eastern Europe. Today, 2 million residents of the Baltic states linked hands to protest not only what happened 50 years ago, but to send a message of defiance to Moscow today. Here's ABC's Jim Laurie.
A human chain of protest. In Tallinn, the Estonian capital, hundreds of thousands turned out to mourn what they see as their loss of independence.
The loss of their independence. Ìjáwa náà máa fight for the loss of not being a Yoruba people before the 1914 amalgamation.
Years ago today. Using radio broadcasts to coordinate.
Radio kékeré ni wọ́n ń lò láti fi communicate. Àwa ti lá advantage nísìnyí láti wà lórí social media. Which one ní níjọ́ náà náà ní 1989?
People all across the Baltic states.
Gbogbo èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí line up more than 600 miles. Ẹ bá wa break it down fẹ́yìn tẹ́ mọ miles. Tó bá pè nǹkan ní 600 miles, how many hours journey nìyẹn? Tó bá pè nǹkan ní 600 miles, how many kini ṣe distance yẹn láti Kwara débó ní? Ẹ bá wa sáré ṣe èyí tí ẹ ń gbọ́ mi. Tá a bá sọ pé 600 miles láti Kwara, níbo ni 600 miles yẹn máa dé? Tó gbé wa dé Èkó àbí kò gbé wa dé Èkó? Fáǹfààní àwọn tí kò yé tá à ń sọ pé tí ẹ bá jáde tán, eré lẹ̀ ń ṣe ẹ̀ tí gba Yorùbá nation. Ní 1989 ni àwọn eléyìí jáde, more than 2 million people láti sọ pé òmìnira àwọn máa gbà á. Wọ́n ti gbòmìnira náà nísìnyí, wọ́n ń jayé lọ after 34 years. Òmìnira làwa gbà. And for now, we are still suffering and people are telling you, ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ dìbò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i.
Formed a line for nearly 400 miles. It stretched from Estonia through Latvia to Lithuania. There were freedom songs.
There were freedom songs.
And tears among those who remembered when the Baltics were free. And signs.
We used to be, free country, and that's what we are fighting for.
Ṣẹ̀gbọ́n, only we used to be in our free country, and ìtàwọn ń jà fún nìyẹn, ìtàwọn náà ń jà fún leléyìí o, self-determination.
And we will fight, not with the guns.
Wọ́n náà wọ́n jà pẹ̀lú ìbọn.
Or aeroplane.
Àbí aeroplane, àbí bomb, but ìtàwọn ní human chain yẹn, bí Russia bá fẹ́ pa gbogbo àwọn tán, àwọn ready kọ́ pa gbogbo àwọn ní mind. Àmọ́ self freedom yẹn àwọn máa gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ ìlú tó ń tẹ̀ wọ́n rì tí kò jẹ́ kán rìn síwájú lọ púpọ̀.
We fight for the freedom.
Ó ní òun máa fight for the freedom. Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ fight for the freedom? Àbí kákọ̀ máa ṣe lórí social media nìkan?
What people here now demand is that Moscow repeal the deal signed so long ago between Stalin and the Nazis. They want complete independence.
They want complete independence, which is what we want as well. So let's come back here to this manual. Again, Akomaka briefly, but you can go and take your time to read it as well. The best in modern research, Atikabenye. Since Atikabenye, we had been a progressive, urbanized people. By the time the first European explorers and traders came to West African coast in about 1470 AD. We are already at a large towns and cities in almost all parts of our land. Large towns and cities located at short distance from one another. By 18th century, we were one of the most urbanized peoples in the world. In our towns and cities, we had evolved a sophisticated and gorgeous monarchy system of government. Monarchy system yẹn ni Britain ń lò títí dọ̀la. Kódà mo sọ fún yín nínú ètò kan rí pé Prime Minister ó gbọ́dọ̀ gbàṣẹ lọ́wọ́ King Charles, God bless the King, kó tó máa tẹ̀síwájú nínú ìjọba ẹ̀. Àmọ́ ẹ wọlé ní gbogbo àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ aládé a lo monarchy system mọ́. Ìta ń lò ní pé àwọn politician ló wá ń yọba fún wa. Wọ́n wá ń lo ìtàn pè ní àwọn gaiman ọba. Wọ́n gbé gaiman ọba síbẹ̀ nígbà tó jẹ́ pé ìṣẹ̀ṣe ló yẹ kó dífá láti sọ pé ọba báyìí ni ó mú. Olúkálùkù wa ń ṣe tó ń wù ú. Bọ́ kí àwọn òyìnbó tó dé, ẹ ṣé gan ni wọ́n ní 965,000 kilometre. Ẹ bá wa break it down sí hour. Ṣé journey yẹn 600 miles yẹn ṣé ó tó láti Kwara dé Lagos àbí bo ló end sí? Pápèjúwe fáwọn tí wọ́n máa ń béèrè pé ìjáde tẹ́lẹ̀ tí fẹ́ jáde yẹn kí ló mean? Ìbéèrè ni pé ṣé inú social media ṣá láti máa gba Yorùbá nation àbí àpọ̀ ń ṣeré à ń tanra wa? Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Let's continue. Bolakade. In our towns, we have sophisticated and gorgeous monarchy system. Àti ní monarchy system tá ti ń lò kó tó di pé àwọn òyìnbó dé wọ́n da gbogbo ẹ̀rú of government and a societal and individual norms known as ọmọlúàbí which clothed ẹ ṣé gan ni àwọn backend team wa for breaking it down to us. So once again, mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé. Wọ́n ní 600 miles is about 965,000 kilometres. We had evolved a sophisticated known as ọmọlúàbí which clothed every individual with respect and sense of duty. Òyìnbó dé bá wa ni àti ń wọṣọ. Mo fi image wọ̀nyí lẹ́ẹ̀kan òun lélẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe pé à ń fi ewé bora. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó máa dé àti ń wọ aṣọ. Wọ́n bá wa nínú ọmọlúàbí ni. Kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n bá wa ní ìwòwò. Àmọ́ lẹ́ni nísìn ìwòwò ni gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ń rìn. Tẹ́ bá lọ sílé boss corner, bend it and pick it ní gbogbo èèyàn wọ̀, bend it and collect it ní everybody wọ̀ lẹ́nu, just as if ní cotton tí a lè grow, ní cotton tí a lè fi sọ di manufacturing system tó máa develop gbogbo cities and towns wa. Let's continue. Prohibit and responsibility. That power belongs to the people, that only the people can select their rulers, that while the people honor their rulers, the rulers also seriously respect their people. Ǹjẹ́ àwọn ọba yín wọ́n respect yín mọ́? Ǹjẹ́ àwọn politician yín respect yín? These were the guide and the manual tí àwọn ìlànà bàbá wa Professor Akintoye tó fún wa nígbà yẹn pé ká lọ máa fi sọ̀rọ̀, ká máa fi bá àwọn èèyàn discuss, kó lè understand níbi tá à ń lọ gangan lórí Yorùbá nation, so that argument yẹn will be used fáwọn tó ń rò pé Nàìjíríà kò jábọ́, Ọlọ́run ló dá Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n ní làákàyè ló máa sọ yẹn. Select their rulers, that while the people honor their rulers, the rulers also seriously respect their people, that the individual has the right to express himself and contribute to decision making in the society, that the individual is free to choose, practice, propagate his or her religious faith, that the foreigner deserves to be welcomed, accepted and included. And gbàlejò, we had also evolved sophisticated economic system featuring advanced farming, manufactures, craft, and the foremost art tradition in Black Africa, and a commercial culture featuring great trade in our homeland, as well as commercial links, diaspora trading communities across most of the tropical Africa. These were the manual and the guide that was released few years ago by Professor Banji Akintoye. While European missionaries brought the Christian message and Western education to Africa in the mid-19th century, our urban civilization made it possible for our Yoruba land to benefit much faster from the education than any other part of Africa. The first newspaper in Black Africa was published in our city of Abeokuta in 1859. Ẹ kàn máa rò pé 1859 ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe newspaper ní Abeokuta ní Ogun State. And others soon followed in some of our other cities. By 1860s, we were already producing a growing class of university graduates and highly educated professionals. Adley lèyàn kọ́kọ́ lè ka any sentence mọ́ nísìnyí, olúkálukú kàn ṣe kí ni, ṣáàbà mi sùn, ẹ fún wa ní mark, ẹ ṣáàbà wa ṣe kankan. By 1914, the year of Nigeria's amalgamation, we were already considerably rich in Western education, whereas schools did not come to most of the rest of Nigeria until 1920. Hey, imagine, by 1914, àwa ti wà way ahead of others. Until 6 years after amalgamation, the education ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lọ sí gbogbo àwọn other part of what is called Nigeria today. By which time many Yoruba families were already producing their third generation of university graduates. No other Nigerian nationality produced their first university graduate until the mid-1930s. In course of the 1950s, we Yoruba seriously expanded our lead in education by starting the first free education program in Nigeria and Africa. We became the leader and the pace setter in most other aspects of the modern development in Nigeria and in Africa. Ours is a large and prestigious nation. At about 56 million in population in Nigeria, we are the largest single nationality in Nigeria and in Black Africa, even without counting the millions of our Yoruba people in the neighboring Benin Republic, Togo Republic. We Yoruba of Nigeria were a country on our own. Today, our country will be one of the largest 20th countries in the world. Our homeland in Nigeria is larger than the territory of United Kingdom. Tell me why. The larger the territory of most countries of Europe and the world, though our population is only 26% of the Nigerian population, we command we command our 50% of Nigerians university graduates and a larger proportion of Nigerian professionals. Our homeland accounts for over 65% of Nigerian industries, capacity, productivity, and pays about the same proportion of the federal taxes. The Yoruba nation devastating experience in Nigeria. But since the independence of Nigeria in 1960, the prevailing trend, I'm going to stop there for now. Mo wá fẹ́ mú wa kúrò nínú eléyìí díẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ gbọ́ in tí ọmọ àlè yìí sọ. Ọmọ àlè, màá kọ́kọ́ fún wa ní definition ta lọ́mọ àlè tí mo fẹ́ sọ yìí. Màá sọ fún yín ẹni tá à ń sọ. Òun náà ni ẹni tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá. Nígbà tí wọ́n pè ní mo fẹ́ lọ mú picture wá tí ẹlòmíì ò dá ẹni tó ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá ọmọ àlè. Arákùnrin tẹ́ ń wò yìí lára àwọn ọmọ àlè tí bàbá wa bí bóyá wọ́n bí fún Fúlàní ni kò tẹ̀ yé wa. Ó ní fídíò kan tí ó ti sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n mú bàbá wa olóyè Sunday Igboho. Mo wá fẹ́ respond properly padà lórí fídíò yẹn láti ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé àníṣe àwọn brown envelope media ló wà nílé. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ká lọ wo kí ni meaning self-determination àti secessionist. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn máa ń pè wá ní secessionist. Kì í ṣe secessionist. We are people that are fighting for self-determination. And kí ni meaning self-determination? Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ meaning ẹ̀.
Self-determination.
The process by which a country determines its own statehood and form its own government. Àwọn ò ná pé a fẹ́ ṣe kú, àwọn ò dẹ̀ sọ pé a fẹ́ gba ìjọba ní tipátipá, à ń sọ pé a ní right láti declare ìlú wa, and nobody can tell us pé wọ́n lè declare ìlú kankan mọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà. As ọmọ Yorùbá, we have every right láti declare ara wa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. In tó bá mú àwọn ìlú kan tó ń celebrate twice independent bí mo ti ṣe ṣàlàyé fún wa, á jẹ́ pé fúdì kan àbí ìdí kejì. So nobody has any right láti sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé wọ́n lè declare. The worst case scenario ni pé declaration tó bá pé méjì wàá gbà nínú United Nations, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn àgbáyé àgbà bẹ́ẹ̀. But kéèyàn kan máa sọ fún wa pé a lè declare Yorùbá nation. Èmi Ọláyọmí Kóìkí of koikimedia ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. A ní right tá bá fẹ́ declare Yorùbá nation lẹ́yìn láti tún declare, even with the midst of whether a declaration has been in existence before or not. Elekalo fún mi ni secessionist. We are not secession according to what we are told. Secession. Secession. Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? With the action of withdrawing formally from the membership of a federation of body, especially a political state. The withdrawal of 11 southern states from the US Union in 1860, leading to the Civil War. Is Nigeria going to lead into civil war when the self-determination comes? Nobody knows, but one thing is, the Yoruba must make up their mind whether they want to remain in Nigeria or not. Ẹ wá jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò yìí tí Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá fi sọ̀rọ̀ ní last year, I believe, when he was on TVC talking about Chief Sunday Igboho and our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's watch it together.
Who stands for? And do you think it was right for the federal government to send the DSS to invade his residence yesterday?
Well, for some other politicians, let's get that straight. So what I tell you is basically what I think, and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
now, I think because of the
Ẹ̀rí tọkọ sísàlẹ̀, Convener Advocacy for One Nigeria Initiative. Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá is for One Nigeria. Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá sọ pé One Nigeria lòun fẹ́. Gbogbo tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀ among the Yoruba people, the Igbo people, those that want the right to self-determination. Ó níyàn kan ó ní self-determination is not even what he's talking about. Ó ń pè àwa ní secessionists. Let's continue with the video.
some things have gone out of hand. And when it goes out of hand, you end up with a scenario of last night. And I will start with Kano, for example.
Ẹ ṣe gan, wọ́n ní 600 miles is about 10 hours. So that means pé 10 hours yẹn tí a bá gbé láti Kwara á fẹ́ dé Ọ̀yọ́ state tó bá tẹ̀ dé Lagos state. Thank you so much.
Locked the guy up for 3 years. Didn't take him to court. Nothing. Turn him into a hero. The guy, what he did was pure treason.
Okay, only tí Nnamdi Kanu ṣe is pure treason. Ṣẹ̀gbọ́n tó ń jáde lẹ́nu ọmọ àlè. Only in tí Nnamdi Kanu ṣe is pure treason. Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, à ń padà bọ̀.
Immediately. Now, if you want to start dealing with that, later on now, having to attack, totally going to arrest the guy.
IGBOHO stands for, and do you think it was right for the federal government to send the DSS to invade his residence?
We need to watch.
Well, for some other politicians, let's get that. So what I tell you is basically what I think, and that's what I say. Now, I think because of the vacuum in leadership, some things have gone out of hand. And when it goes out of hand, you end up with a scenario of last night. And I will start with Kanu, for example. You locked the guy up for 3 years. Didn't take him to court. Nothing. You turn him into a hero. The guy, what he did was pure treason. Treason as such and deal with it as such. Immediately. Now, if you want to start dealing with that, later on now, having to attack, totally going to arrest the guy. And things end up this way. That's what it does. So, anything that advocates anything against the Union of Nigeria is treason. And the sooner we start teaching such things as such, the better. And deal with them as what they are. It's a treasonable offense in our constitution. The death penalty. So deal with it and let's get it over with. The more we drag our feet, we will start giving more and more opportunities to such people, such advocates.
People will say because it's a democracy, because we're in a democracy, there's a way to handle this, and so
Kò tí à ń ṣàtìgbowó ẹ máa gbọ́ o.
mind and speak their thoughts and
I don't have a problem with speaking your mind. What you do with what you speak is another thing. What you influence with what you speak is another thing. You have to be responsible for your talk. And if you talk the talk, you're going to walk the walk, then you must be responsible. And that's how I see it.
But you've not answered my question concerning IGBOHO, which is, so he was, I mean, I wouldn't want to compare him to Kanu. Because Kanu was saying very clearly secession. He was saying self-determination.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n ọdún sọ ẹ mọ̀ pé journalist yẹn sọ fún pé self-determination ni Dr. Olóyè Sunday Igboho ń jà fún. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí ọmọ àlè ọmọ bàbá wa late MKO Abiola tí wọ́n pè ní Kọ́lá Abiola olórí bíi pásá ẹ̀rí bó ṣe rí ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ lórí ti bàbá wa Dr. Olóyè Sunday Igboho.
Apples and oranges. Yeah. A dog is not a monkey because they all work on one end. It's still a dog is a dog, a monkey is a monkey. So if you start advocating things, you're definitely playing the integrity of Nigeria.
Integrity of Nigeria, ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ níbẹ̀. So mo fẹ́ yẹ kí a máa rántí pé we are dealing with so many people just like ọmọ bàbá wa late MKO Abiola tóun náà sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé one Nigeria, the unity of one Nigeria must continue. Now that we've been able to touch on that, let's now go into the details of why is Azerbaijan kí ló dé tó ń celebrate independent lẹ́ẹ̀mejì kí nìdí tí wọ́n celebrate independent lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. Let's see why. Once again, you are watching a live transmission and I say a very good afternoon and good evening. My name is OLAMILEKAN and this is where we continue to tell our people, and this is how we tell you that we have everything in our hand to remove ourselves from the contraction, the evil, the genocide, the crime against humanity by Nigerian government against the indigenous people. We are not secessionists. Both the Biafra and the Yorubas are fighting same cause. Àti rojú àní láti rojú ẹ̀mú. Mo ti get message mo fẹ́ fún mo níbẹ̀ yẹn. Mo kàn fẹ́ kí ẹ rántí ìyẹn ni. Let's come back here. So kí nìdí tí Azerbaijan ṣe ń celebrate independent lẹ́ẹ̀mejì? Let's go through it a little bit together. October 18, when Azerbaijan celebrate restoration of freedom. As history goes, Azerbaijan is one country that gained independence twice in the 20th century. It was in 1919, just almost 5 years after tí àwọn òyìnbó lórí burúkú tó amalgamate gbogbo wa papọ̀. 5 years after, there were problems going on as well in another continent. They were all grabbing everything. Àwọn òyìnbó olúkálùkù wọn kàn mú tó wù wọ́n. Wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pín all over the world. Population ní gbogbo Africa kò tíì tó population ní China. China is about billions. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo population China. Nǹkan kan tí wá sí mi lọ́kàn ni China population. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo population China. So tá bá ń sọ fún yín pé a pọ̀, irọ́ ni. China is 1.4 billion. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ wo the whole population of Africa. The whole population of Africa tí àwa náà wà nínú ẹ̀. Gbogbo population Africa is just under 1.4 billion. So wọ́n sì lè máa sọ fún wa pé àwọn ò lè dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. Wọ́n sì lè máa sọ pé àwọn ọmọ Biafra ò lè dá dúró. Wọ́n sì lè sọ pé àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ wọ́n ò lè dá dúró. Nigeria is not containing every one of us. Everybody must go their separate ways, and the country must be brought down quietly, peacefully, violently, anarchically. Whatever way we got to take it down, we must understand that nobody is coming to help anybody. The only way we can help ourselves is for us to start mobilizing and prepare for the worst case scenario. Let's go back to Azerbaijan. Once again, a very good afternoon. I've given you the background of Azerbaijan, but we are now looking into kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣe ní independent lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. It was in 1919 when Azerbaijan gained its first independence and proudly passed a law that allowed women to vote even before the US passed the same law. Imagine kí America tó pàṣẹ òfin pé àwọn obìnrin máa dìbò, àwọn Azerbaijan ti ṣe. And when we look at all these countries now, ẹ rí i pé ọwọ́ àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun wọ́n ti tọwọ́ bọbẹ̀, wọ́n ti babẹ̀ jẹ́. Let's continue. However, let me increase it because aláwọn tó máa ń wò wá lórí big screen. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ ní small screen or maybe a very small phone. It was, however, Bolshevik Russia wanted the rich oil. Èèyàn kan máa ń fẹ́ nǹkan kan náà ni. Àwọn Russia náà ti tọwọ́ bọ oríṣiríṣi, just as the British have already put their hands in trying to extract so many of our crude oil. Some of them òun ló fi ja àwọn ogun tí ẹ mọ̀. Ogun World War II, crude oil ti wá wà lára tó ń lò. But lẹ́rìí nísìnyí, wọ́n jẹ wá lówó, àròwó gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn, wọ́n amalgamate wa, wọ́n ní ká lọ dìbò. Tá a bá dìbò tán, ẹni bá fẹ́ wá sí UK, ó lè wá sí UK, àwọn àwò bí wọ́n bá fún ní visa. Kódà wọ́n ti ń polongo nísìnyí pé ẹni tó bá jẹ́ teacher ní Nàìjíríà kó máa bọ̀ ní UK. Ìjẹ́ yìí mọ̀ pé gbogbo ọmọ UK nísìnyí tó jẹ́ teacher, mò ń wò yẹn nínú tweet kan láàárọ̀ yìí. Anybody tó bá ó dà pé bọ̀bọ̀ kan UK ló wà, professor ni, no, lecturer ni. Mo rántí orúkọ ẹ̀ mọ́ nísìnyí, màá rántí. Ó máa ń polówó oríṣiríṣi nǹkan. Màá rántí ọdún ẹni mo ti kà. Ó ní gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ British citizen, àwọn ń lọ sí UAE, wọ́n ń lọ sí Saudi Arabia because wọ́n máa rí owó tó pọ̀. Now wọ́n wá ń replace ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Africans kó wá ṣiṣẹ́ níbí báyìí. Àwa la kún NHS, àwa la tún máa ṣe teacher fún wọn nísìnyí. Àwa máa wá fi education system tiwa sílẹ̀. So one thing is, tí a bá gba nation wa, we will continue to remain in abject poverty. However, Bolshevik Russia wanted the oil land of Azerbaijan, àwọn yẹn náà ní epo tó dá, to itself. And so in 1920, the Bolshevik army wọ́n march wọnú Baku, which is the capital city of Azerbaijan, and pledging the country, weak to defend itself, fell into the hands of communists till it started to descend to the communist oppressor. demonstration tí a fi wọ̀nyí lẹ́ẹ̀kan kò ń ṣe Azerbaijan nìkan ló ti lọ ó lọ sí Lithuania náà but demonstration ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn demonstration of opposition to communists broke in Baku in 1989 ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo bí a lè rí fídíò àbí one anything to buttress that let's see if there's any images. Ẹ wo adúrú èrò tó jáde Koiki dúdú ti fẹ́ gba owó o àwọn bàbá kíndò ti béèrè owó o káwọn èèyàn lè jáde o is because illiterate làwọn tó pọ̀ jù yẹn. They don't understand that you cannot declare and be in a country and you are still saying, oh, amamase díẹ̀. That means that we are not going anywhere. We will be fooling ourselves. We need to show ourselves to the world. We need to come out in our numbers. We need to prove otherwise that international community doesn't exist nínú Nigeria. And I think I have one of them. Just per chance, ni mo come across the video yìí. Wọ́n pè bẹ́ẹ̀ ní Komu oil. Ó dà ń pé palm oil ló ń ṣe níbẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká advert yìí lọ. Once again, a very good afternoon. Too many adverts, but that's how it is. I was looking at mo kàn rí kíní lórí wọ́n sọ pé interview with Komu oil palm manager. Ó ṣe jẹ́ òyìnbó ilé nísìnyí I'm sure pé Lebanese ni. Mo wá lọ wo àwọn oúnjẹ Komu oil is actually somewhere around I think Edo State. Do you know the kind of resources that we have? Why should this man òyìnbó aláwọ̀ funfun yìí should be given àtìlẹ́lẹ̀ ànídélé mọ́? Let's come back here. Okay, mo copy kankan let me leave that to go. Why should we allow this man to be the MD of the Igbo or the Biafra resources? Is because everything has been polluted in that shithole country. So nígbà tí mo come across interview yìí, wọ́n ní exclusive to attract me ni 10 Komu oil workers killed in the last 5 years, according to the MD. He speaks about illegal logging. His name is Graham Affer. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo ọmọ ìlú gangan ni Graham Affer yẹn. Báwo ló ṣe spell orúkọ ẹ̀? And this is why we are telling you that gbogbo tó jẹ́ nǹkan níyí is going away from your hand. Image ẹ̀ tí mo ń fọ ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ẹ wò. Ṣé irú eléyìí ló jẹ́ kó máa control resources ilẹ̀ Igbo or area yẹn? But at the end of the day, we are not looking at the bigger picture. Hey, imagine, I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, but ṣóun ló jẹ́ kó wá máa control ẹ jẹ́ ká wo dọ́pọ̀ sí according to Punch newspaper. This was in January 2 years ago. Border closure trigger high demand for palm oil. Ṣé mọ̀ pé palm oil ó ní owó ju crude oil lọ? Ta ló mọ̀ yẹn? Do you know that your palm oil is more valuable than the crude oil? Palm oil gives you much more money than the crude oil. How many people knows that? Epo pupa ló ń pè ní palm oil. Tó o bá mọ̀, epo pupa díẹ̀ lọ fi wọ̀n tó o bá mọ̀ tó ń pè ní palm oil. Epo pupa ó ní more value ju crude oil lọ in terms of owó tó ń rí lórí ẹ̀. But at the end of the day, rather than us say to ourselves, we will make sure that Nigeria ẹ mọ̀ pé mo ń sọ lánàá èmi ò tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé máa bá ilé ìpàdé àná tí mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé irú àwọn ilé nísìn tí wọ́n bá lè continue operation wọn nínú Nigeria, then there is a problem. But because àwọn ilé ìṣìn ráyè ṣe operation wọn nínú Nigeria, so there is no problem in Nigeria. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ airline lánàá, àtẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ dé epo pupa lánàá, àní èní nísìn mo kàn come across Komu oil, ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré kàdé ẹ̀. The managing director and the chief executive officer ó ṣe jẹ́ aláwọ̀ funfun ló wá ń ṣe managing director àti chief executive officer. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n gbé fáwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà láti ṣe chief executive and the managing director? Is because of the whole corruption going on. The nepotism tá à ń sọ nìyẹn. The nepotism tá à ń sọ náà nìyẹn. Let's continue. Komu Oil Palm PLC, producer of Banga palm oil and the Noku 10 rubber brand. So kò ń ṣe epo pupa nìkan ló ń yọ nínú ẹ̀. Ó tún ní àwọn nǹkan kan tó ń lò jáde nínú epo ìyìn tí a fi wọ̀nyí, which is tó bá sọ pé epo pupa nǹkan sọ lélẹ̀. ó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá náà, ó wà káàkiri gbogbo Nàìjíríà, but àwa kọ́ la ní access sí, wọ́n ti gbé lé àwọn Lebanese lọ́wọ́ because eléyìí nísìn máa táwọn wòye nísìn kò fẹ́ jọ Lebanese àbí kó jọ ọmọ Israel. Òun àwa máa ṣe gbogbo effort láti make sure pé ó ti ní target iye epo tó gbọ́dọ̀ jáde lọ sí ìlú tó yẹ kó lọ. Whereas you are there now, you are shouting one Nigeria and you will be trying to get a job here and you will never get that job because nobody is giving you any job. Okay? And if anybody is telling you, I'm a fún wa níṣẹ́, iṣẹ́ kan wà, you cannot get any job because the system in Nigeria today will not allow anybody to be given any job. And we are still in what is called the sovereignty of Nigeria. Maybe you don't know that. Ìwọ lọ sell down ilé nísìn, kò sọ pé o fẹ́ wáṣẹ́, wàá máa bèèrè pé báwo ni tiẹ̀ ṣe jẹ́. Let's continue. Closure of the palm oil sector. Okay, no. Dr. Graham Alpha talks about the gains of the òun sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àǹfààní tó rí nípa border tí wọ́n close. Báwo ló ṣe rí àǹfààní? Kí ni border? Let's read a little bit about the interview. And this was 2 years ago. Mo kí ìyàwó Janet Mati, welcome on board. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ kí ni reason tí epo pupa ṣe make more money fáwọn people yìí than ọmọ Yorùbá àbí àwọn ọmọ Edo àbí àwọn ọmọ Biafra. Ó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa recent border closure on the palm oil sector and other sundry issues in this interview. The borders between Nigeria and neighbors have been closed for the past 4 months. Would you say the development has been refreshing for the local palm oil sector? Oh yes, Graham ló sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí ìyẹn arákùnrin. Ó ní yes, I would say that the closure of the border has been a blessing. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè o. Nígbà táwa ń complain pé wọ́n tilẹ̀ wọ́n ti border mọ́ wa, àwọn sọ pé border tó close yẹn was a blessing. Ọmọ Yorùbá a ti wọ one chance. A ti ṣe kí ni? A ti wà ní one chance. Ẹ wá imagine tá a bá block ọ̀nà tí àwọn eléyìí ò ráyè gbé pópópá yẹn kọjá mọ́. Ká block ẹ̀, wọn ò mọbi tí wọ́n ti ń operate, but kò síbi kíbi tó bá ti ń operate. I'm sure pé wọ́n máa gba Lagos route àbí Ìjẹ̀bú Òde route àbí Benin Ọ̀rẹ́ route láti fi gbé pópópá yẹn jáde. Bóyá ó ń lọ through omi ni o, bóyá ó ń lọ through road ni o, we don't know. But these are the things that we need to start thinking that we must make something uncomfortable, ungovernable. I'm not talking about violence, just as Baba Basanjọ́ ṣe sọ, but we must put pressure. Just as I wrote here in one of our broadcasts some few days ago, on the 1st of January, bringing pressure to the bear. Tá a bá mú pressure wá, we will not go out of Nigeria and we are all deceiving ourselves as Yoruba people. Only yes, I would say that the closure of the borders has been a blessing. I am of the opinion that the exercise should be continued. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Ó náà wọ́n fẹ́ kí exercise yẹn kó continue. So irú àwọn eléyìí náà a máa lobby pé kí wọ́n má ṣí border. Only God knows the kind of relationship they have with the Fulani people. That they are saying that they èmi ò rí ẹgbọn orí tàbí rí o, I'm just saying it for the first time. But ẹgbọn kan tó sọ ní bíbáyìí, ó ní òun prefer pé kó ti border pa. How has the development impact your local market, share, sales, and profit within these few months? The effect it has on our local market share is that there have been some new companies requesting for crude palm oil that we have not had our books previously since the land border were closed. Equally, to answer your questions about the border closure, effect on our sales over the past few months. Since the land border were closed, sales have normalized again. In terms of the effect of the border closure on our profit, apart from illegal import initially, prices also affect our profit, and prices were down for most of 2019. However, the border closure did not dictate these lower prices, as crude oil prices are determined by the world market. Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá, sọ fi pé ìwọ lọ gbọ́n ojókòó sórí social media, à ń sọ fún ẹ pé tí a bá mékì nǹkan kó wà uncomfortable fún wọn, the world is making price index on our crude oil. Ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, according to what we are told, ni wọ́n ti ń gbé crude oil, but àwọn tó make a decision yẹn is outside. and nobody wants to accept the reality. We are not looking for everybody that will tell us something tó máa dùn mọ́ wa nísàlẹ̀ ọkàn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. And the politicians are laughing at us, thinking that we are not serious people. But I think is more than enough to tell you that Taba, get the hell out of Nigeria, we are going nowhere. Has there been any negative fallout from the border closure in terms of cross-border trade, where you have to move your palm oil to other countries? Could you tell us if the gains are more than the losses? There has not been fallout in terms of cross-border trade. We do not export any CPU. It is all consumed within Nigeria, so we had no impact. For a company as big as Okumu Oil operating in rural communities, there must have been numerous challenges. Could you tell us some of them and tell us how you cope? Operating a businesses in rural community has its challenge for us. These challenges are numerous, but the main ones are poor infrastructure like the roads, the port delay, and lack of stable electricity. Pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà wọ̀ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà o. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Ifá kó mi àrò. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pẹ̀lú problem tó wà ní rural area, àwọn ò kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà o, because ibẹ̀ ni kòkó ọbẹ̀ wọn wà. They result in high costs due to having to use generators and increased cost of repairs and maintenance on vehicles. Also, we have to cope with high cost of transport as lorries are held up at the port. We also face challenge with multiple illegal taxes and tolls. It is either you pay or your business suffer even more than it does now. Another challenge associated with kind of business is insecurity. The rise of militants, theft, and kidnapping, just as any other person is facing today. Nigeria is at the verge of breakup. So now that we've got a bit of the background of Kumuloy, you can go and do a bit of more research on that. Let's come back again to Eleta and Sorolenkan. Kí ló dé tí Azerbaijan ṣe sọ pé ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì làwọn celebrate independence lọ́dọ̀ tí wọ́n gbọ́lá kàdé lẹ́ǹkan àti kàdé díẹ̀ báyìí. Okay, àwa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa 1 million Azerbaijan tó jáde. So ẹ jẹ́ ká wò bí a ní fídíò kankan tó lè back ẹ̀. So this again is a video that happened in 1989. Àwa nísìnyí a fẹ́ wà comfortable. We want to make everything on this social media. Nobody wants to make anything on the ground. Oh, no. We will do everything on the social media. Everything, ló máa sọ fún wa lórí social media. No, there are some things that you would have to make effort to come down and do. And when those of you that are saying, Koiki, wọ́n náà máa bọ̀ ńlé, máa kó family ẹ̀ bọ̀. Well, somebody has to do what I'm doing, and I'm sure AIT, Channels Television is not doing that. So the one I'm doing right here is to tell you that we are all in it together, whether I am in Nigeria or I am outside Nigeria, because I am still a slave to the British government here in the United Kingdom. I don't imagine the amount of wealth tí British ti kó lọ́dọ̀ wa. Imagine the amount of wealth that Britain has brought from Nigeria here, whether legally or illegally. I am being told that I cannot even have access to benefit in this country. The document of fún mi ó kọ síbẹ̀ pé you are not ẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé bá ṣe máa ń kọ síbẹ̀ mo ti gbàgbé again. You are not given the right to ẹ̀yin tẹ máa ní irú document yẹn tó máa ní you cannot claim any ẹ bá mi kọ síta ó ti mú ọ̀rántí bó ṣe máa ń kọ. Wọ́n máa ń kọ wọn ní kódà tí bá ní mo fẹ́ lọ gba benefit tó bá fi sórí system lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló máa sọ fún mi pé mo ní right láti gbà. Kó tẹ́ ń ṣe disclaimer is not disclaimer ló máa ń lò. Màá ní kí ìyàwó mi bá mi mú document mi wá nísìnyí màá sáré wò. Ó ní bó ṣe máa ń kọ sí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bá mi mú document mi wá please. And this imagine èmi ọmọ lílọ ọlọ́nà tí Britain colonize tí mo láǹfààní àti wà ní bíbá for the yes no recourse to public fund ẹ ṣe gan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ṣẹ́gun ọ̀nà no recourse to public fund ẹ má mú wá mọ́ ká má lọ ṣe mistake lọ fún wọn ní ID card mi lórí social media èmi ò ń ṣe illegal immigrant ní bíbá ó wù mí kí wọn náà máa bọ̀ níbí ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá ti rí visa ìwọ náà jápa tó bá ti dé bíbá ìsọpọ̀ lọ́mọ́ máa bá wọn fà á but the only problem ni pé tó bá claim asylum Rwanda ló ń gbé ẹ lọ. That's the right word. You have no recourse to imagine, and this is me that have access to crude oil, access to epo èyí, access to land. And ẹ ṣe gan ni ìyá mi Esther, àwọn kan tó send message sí mi ní background. Mo dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá. Mo sọ fún yín pé níbí báyìí a máa ṣíra wa lọ́kàn tí a máa fi sọ pé Nàìjíríà by fire by force a gbọ́dọ̀ lọ. Tí a bá ti lọ, ìyà tèmi ń jẹ ní UK ìwọ náà máa jẹ because màá máa ṣiṣẹ́ bíi kúrú kí tó lè mé ìyàwó mi nísìnyí fún mi lọ́rùn ni. Mo sọ fún yín pé mo sì ń jẹ owó ilé. Ẹ rò pé torí pé mo jókòó sórí social media à ń pawó lórí ẹ̀ ni. In tó ń dùn mí lọ́kàn lèmi ṣe ń sọ pé àní kó di gbàgbó ká tètè lọ. Because at the end of the day, mo wà níbí báyìí kò sálàáfíà. Wà bí àlàáfíà díẹ̀ anyway. And this is why we are telling our people. But ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré wo fídíò yẹn tó jáde ní 1989. Hey, imagine this is 1989. There is no social media, but people came out and faced the military. Ẹni máa kú ni, ẹni máa yé ni. I do not own the copyright to this video, but let's watch it. This was in 1990. On the 9th of January 20, Soviet Army Division. But these are countries now. Some firing ammunition entered the city. More than 130 people died. But today, Azerbaijan is a free nation. More than 600 people were wounded. But today, what is going on? How people Cheripede ló sọ ẹ jẹ́ kí n yọ language yẹn kúrò àgbọn kan tó ń sọ bọ̀ mo lè má pa síta òfin kan tó tán ẹ. So let's continue. Some firing ammunition entered the city. Our Soviet Union army. More than 130 people died. More than 600 people were wounded. The information itself in details. How people were crushed by the tanks. How the army fired on the ambulances. How they finished off the wounded. This was in 1990. How an armor column fired at resident window. That is the details. This information started to appear 3 or 4 days later. That is what awareness of this horror, of what had happened actually came. Emma been muted because language alone so hard. Troops moved into Baku. They've been doing that already in the southeast, killing the Igbo people against the backdrop of violence over the region between ethnic Azerbaijan and Armenians. Millions of people simultaneously, Baku protesters were demanding Soviet officials to resign. Can we all come out in our millions and start asking all our representatives to resign? But we will not do so on social media. We are fooling ourselves. We are going nowhere. We are going nowhere anymore. This was in 1989. There was less technology. There was people mobilized. Everybody came out. Because tí a bá ti strangle government within days and within weeks, within months, we will start having more food. We will open our border. Border more. Border. Even if we have to buy from Benin Republic, even if we have to buy from all over the world, we will make sure that we strangle the government. But how do we do that? We need millions of people to be out. Òpònú èèyàn ló máa sọ pé nídèrè oníta o, but a máa parí gbogbo Yorùbá nation lórí social media. Òpònú èèyàn ló máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ ní bíbá 1989 èmi ń fún yín ní proof in tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí òkúkú lóòótọ́ bọ̀ lẹ́ni àwọn Azerbaijan wọ́n bẹ́tà ju wọ́n tó wà ní Nàìjíríà lọ. In the first half of January, anti-Armenian programs took place in Baku. Scores of people were killed or injured. Many ethnic Armenians fled to Azerbaijan. These crowds of people were going around the streets. There were Wahabs tracking down those who hadn't left in time. But I'm sure the Soviet troops didn't make it a goal to take off the entire city, as well later declared to defend the Armenian population. So, let's leave this. This is what we need to understand. Nobody comes to help anybody. These are what we need. These are 2 different countries I've talked about, Lithuania and Azerbaijan. And we must understand that we Everybody must say, we are not speaking the same language because Nigeria, everybody is... No. Àwa Yorùbá tí à ń speak the same language ní ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká jáde at the right time and do what is needed to save ourselves and our loved ones. Let's continue quickly. But the Azerbaijan spirit of down with the Russia dictatorship, the Yoruba spirit of down with Nigeria must continue until we get our freedom. But the Azerbaijan spirit of down with the Russian dictatorship did not die. Then in 1991, 1.5 years later, on October 18, Azerbaijan gained its second independence and held to it tight. Ẹ rántí pé wọ́n kọ́kọ́ ti gbà kan ní 1919. Cherry. So that means pé Azerbaijan celebrate twice independence as of today. So in tó fà tó fi ń celebrate ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Once again, mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. My name is OLAMILEKAN and you're watching a live transmission. How many hours that is it so far? We've done close to 2 hours. So I can party to Lieutenant and then I'll open my phone line so that you can also engage in the conversation. Now, let me close down some of these because I don't need them and it might have impact on the broadcast later. Take this off. Put on mo fẹ́ lo eléyìí mo ṣe ṣe. Èwo leléyìí? Frederick God. Sí nǹkan tá a fẹ́ lónìí bẹ́ẹ̀. Okay, mo need eléyìí. I'll still keep this one. And tó bá fẹ́ lọ ka document yẹn, you can pick it from anywhere. But táwọn value ara wa ni. I saw something here. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré wò. Àwọn àkókò mo value ara wa. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ mo value ara wa.
With a population of about 46 million, the Yoruba are one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa, and one of the three major ethnic groups in modern-day Nigeria, along with the Hausa and the IGBOHO. The Yoruba built one of the largest empires in West Africa, crafted some of humanity's finest art, and looked damn good doing it. Their artists are famous worldwide, and no other African culture has affected the Americas and the Caribbean as much as the Yoruba, who left a mark through people, dance, food, and the religions of Santeria and Candomblé. So, who are the Yoruba? What is their history? And what does it have to do with a universe-created chicken? Well, let's find out. Geography. Yoruba land is a cultural region that stretches across southwestern Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. Most Yoruba live in Nigeria, where they make up 21% of the population. The largest cities in Yoruba land are Ilorin with 1 million people, Ibadan with 3.8 million, and Lagos, or Echo in the Yoruba language, with 15 million people. That's 3 times more people than live in my entire country.
Lagos is 3 times more than ìlú tí bọ̀bọ̀ tó ń ṣe fídíò yìí. Ìbọmọ òyìnbó ni ìgbàdàn ẹgbọ́n òyìnbó ni tó bá yípa àlàṣe ni. Lagos kò ní trendy. Everybody kàn gbé fídíò yìí nísìn left and right, left and right. Ó ní Lagos ju ìlú tóun wà lọ 3 times more.
Yoruba land is a diverse landscape, with dense tropical forests and mangroves in the south, and northwards you'll find a rugged highland region where you can see these cool inselbergs like Olosunta. And the north also has a Guinea savanna region. Yoruba land is home to the Mona monkey, the African forest elephant, leopards, the adorable Senegalese bush baby, and parrots, which have played a sacred role in Yoruba history.
We've listened to that. Now, I can close this now. I don't need that anymore. Okay, mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ lórí woman yìí. The longest exile government Canada ló wà. Ta ló mọ̀ tán pè ní rather of Belarusian Democratic Republic is the longest serving exile government. Very good. Ní gbogbo àgbáyé, but Canada not in operate. A máa sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ lórí wọn. Mo fẹ́ lo bàbá yìí náà máa nìyí. Okay, àti sọ lórí eléyìí. Our history, 2 million stories. Eléyìí tá a ti sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, how people were marching together, holding their hands, human chain, ẹ wo bó ṣe lọ. Can we do something? Maybe similar, maybe different, I don't know. But we are waiting, and we are waiting for miracle. Miracle dá lóòótọ́. Everybody wants to hear a prophecy la fẹ́ gbọ́. Èmi ò sọ pé prophecy ò dáa, but Ọlọ́run ní sọ̀kalẹ̀ wá, àwa ara wa ló máa lò. And one thing is, we must be prepared. I need video yìí mọ́. Àti ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ náà lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Belarusian the longest serving government in exile. Àwọn Belarusian in Canada ló wà presently. I'm going to come back to that. But mo fẹ́ sáré sọ̀rọ̀ lórí kí ló dé tí Lithuania náà celebrate it too independent. Then we're going to start opening my phone line. Lithuania, tumultuous history combined with a sense of deep national pride has led it to become the independent country that it is today. 2 days of independence are celebrated. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. 2 days of independence are celebrated. Ọjọ́ méjì ló fi ń celebrate independence ní Lithuania. Ọjọ́ méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Kí nìdí? Wọ́n pè kan ní 2 days of independence are celebrated. Wọ́n pè kan ní the restoration of the State Day of February 16 and the restoration of Independence Day on March 11. To understand more about why Lithuania celebrates 2 independent days, we need to look back in time to when the country first emerged. Though an independent country since 13th century, in the 18th century, the Russian Empire assumed rule of Lithuania during the World War I. Nígbà táwọn ogun yìí ṣẹlẹ̀, òun ló fi di pé olúkálukú máa ń jàdúgbà mọ́ra wọn lọ́wọ́. Is it going to be World War III? I don't know. But one thing is, there will be uncertainty in Nigeria this year. Kò sọgbọ́n ẹ̀. Because the Biafra are saying that we don't want to be in this union. The Yoruba are saying the same thing. The Middle Belt are saying the same thing. I don't know much about the Arewa, but one thing is the 2 major ethnic people, indigenous people, are now saying that this union is no longer in favor of us. You cannot force us to say we should continue to vote for people. No, that is not what we want. We want to take control back of our own. And like I said, we are self-determination and we are not secessionists. Let's continue. True. Though an independent country since the 13th century, in the 18th century, the Russian Empire assumed rule of Lithuania during the World War I. German troops occupied the region while they marching to Russia, and they maintained control until the Russian Revolution in 1917, just 3 years after the 1914 amalgamation. Ṣé ní gbogbo time era yẹn, wọ́n kàn ṣoríṣiríṣi tó wù wọ́n. Everybody was just doing whatever. As long as you have, weapons, bombs, and everything, just as Britain did, they were using that, to take controls of land all over the world. Báwo ni, country kan máa lọ máa invade kan is because wọ́n rí nǹkan kan nínú bẹ̀. So ìwọ tó ń sọ pé, no, remember that we need to do whatever we need to do to get the hell out of Nigeria. Ignoring these options, the Act of Independence of Lithuania was signed, proclaiming independence on February 16, 1918, the restoration of the State Day. Independence appeared to be only temporarily, as Lithuania was occupied by the Soviet Union in 1914 during the World War II. Following the World War II, the Soviet Union still occupied Lithuania and other Baltic states of Latvia and Estonia. In show of gbogbo àwọn olùtàwọn sọ nísìnyí láti dá dúró, they are now independent of their own, even though ìmí ò tẹ̀ tó Ìbàdàn. In the show of solidarity against the Soviet Union, approximately 2 million people from Lithuania, àti show yín fídíò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan, 2 million people from Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia joined hands to form the Baltic Way, which was 600,000 kilometers, longest human chain that connected Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, to Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. This revolutionary peaceful demonstration, it is even a peaceful one. But they were telling the world that we can no longer continue to be part of what we kept us in, however it happened. This revolutionary peaceful demonstration that took place on August 23rd, 1989, eventually restored freedom to Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Mélòó ni gbogbo àwọn ọdún tá à ń sọ yìí? Mélòó ni population wọn lé ní nísìn? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo Latvia. Gbogbo population Latvia is 1.8 million. Gbogbo population wọn. And this is why you should be getting angry, upset. But don't get upset with each other. Get upset with the Fulani that is working on behalf of the British Empire, the British government, the Britain of today, so that they can Britain gan tó wà nínú EU gan sá lọ wọn náà wọ́n ṣe mú wọn náà ìtaṣe pẹ̀lú ní títọ́ no they are not interested. But today àwa ṣì wà níbi tí à ń jẹ ọmọ Yorùbá. So I've given you 2 countries on record with evidence that celebrated up to today 2 independence. So if anybody is saying anything otherwise about any independence in Yoruba nation, even if another one comes up, it does not make any difference. It will just be that maybe we will be celebrating 2 independence in Yoruba land. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Once again, a very good afternoon. And these are people. These are people àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run náà ẹ̀yin mọ Ọlọ́run tó wọn ni. Ṣé ẹ̀yin mọ Ọlọ́run tó àwọn eléyìí? Àwọn náà sin Ọlọ́run, wọ́n ní Jésù, wọ́n ní Mohammed, Muslim wà nù wọn, Christian wà nù wọn, oníṣẹ̀ṣe wà nù wọn. But they first left that and came to fight. So bí ẹnìkankan bá sọ pé, oh, we have made a declaration as they've done. There's nothing wrong in that. But if there's another declaration at any point of time in this movement, we will just be celebrating 2 independence. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And like I said, come from any evidence pé they declare Yoruba nation at any point of time in this movement again. I need that evidence. And if I cannot get that evidence, I'll come back and apologize. But for now, I've not seen that evidence and nobody has pointed or referenced me to that. Millions of people at least are listening to me. I need evidence that shows that the Yoruba people cannot declare another independence out of the shithole country called Nigeria. I need that evidence. Evidence here. That means we will continue to say that there can be another declaration. And there's nothing that can stop that. We have different organizations and they have the right to declare Yoruba nation at any point of time should they wish to do so. Olayomi Koikimedia of Koikimedia in the 5th of January 2022. I've not disagreed with the declaration of November, but if there is another declaration, we go with it. That Mr. Omo Yoruba, I'm a independent méjì nìyẹn. Àbí adé máa ṣe fàájì. A jẹ́ pé day off yẹn ló máa jẹ́ lọ́jọ́ iwájú. But nobody should come and tell us that no other organization have the right to declare. Pé wọ́n ti declare kan náà. I want you to keep that to yourself. Whoever is having that views or opinion. My name again is Olayomi Koiki of Koikimedia. Yoruba people, any organization among us, it doesn't even have to be YSDM. Global Director Yoruba now have declared they have the right to declare. And this, for those that were saying, Baba Akintoye did not give us a guide or manual. The guide and manual has been out for more than a year. Maybe you didn't come across it, it's a different thing entirely, but I proved that to you today that there was a guide and there's a manual. And I've given us the full definition of a guide. I've given us the full definition of a manual. We don't have àìmọye mọ́tò tó wà ní Nàìjíríà tẹ́tí yọ spare part tẹ́tí gbé tì mí sí ó dẹ̀ ń drive àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. So tá bá fún wa ní guide àti manual èmi sọ pé a máa jà ní bàbá Akintoye ní àníjà gbọ́wọ́ kọ síbẹ̀ pé fighting. So all I'm saying today is ẹ jẹ́ ká slow down. Àwa kọ́ là ń bára wa jà. Let's face the real enemy. Don't get distracted depending on which side you are. Our focus should be out of Nigeria. Collective effort, whether we like it or not, we must get the hell out of Nigeria. And if you want to read this document, it is on my website, and I've actually break it down as well. Sorry, Koikimedia, Koiki Oduduwa page, and Koiki Oduduwa page, méjì ní mẹ́ta. You'll be able to read it up yourself. Mo fẹ́ sáré sọ nípa ìlú kékeré kan, but not ìlú kékeré anyway. Wọ́n pè ìlú kan ní Belarusian Democratic Republic. Nígbà tí mo ń ṣe a bit of the background research yìí ni mo come across ẹ̀. Mo rí gbá government in exile. Àwọn ní government in exile. We're taking about mo kàn fẹ́ mú ṣẹ́rí kò sí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí kò ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí. We must not be scared of anything. Àwa gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rù kankan because àwọn òyìnbó yóò lórí méjì fún nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Bó bá wùn àgàn sẹ̀, a lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí set up embassy gan káàkiri àgbáyé. Àdé máa implement ẹ̀. Ìbọn òun ni àwọn Dr. KABIRU ṣe. Àbí ọmọ pé nǹkan ṣe yẹn is almost same thing like an embassy. Ẹ mọ èèyàn tí wọ́n support physically, spiritually, or even monetarily wise. Ṣé torí pé ìbá ń gbé wọn wá sórí program àárín kà ń gbọ́ wọn? Ṣé amọye iṣẹ́ tí Yorùbá Central Office ṣe? Níbo la máa kọ́ àwọn sí? A sọ fún wọn pé no, àwọn wọn ní right. Yoruba Central Office is already working and they already have establishment set up, in different countries around the world. So ẹ jẹ́ ká slow down. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ara wa yé dáadáa. Àwa kọ́ ni enemy ara wa. Enemy gangan ni Britain tó dá wàhálà, tó dá gbogbo yánpọnyánre sílẹ̀. Àfẹ́ni tó bá ní another intention tó fẹ́ fi bàrìn àyàn jẹ́ nìkan. I am not one of them. My job is to educate you and bring the fact pé àwọn òyìnbó lórí méjì in tó bá wà wà làwọn náà lè ṣe. So nígbà tí mo wá lọ wo Belarusian Democratic Republic is the oldest still functioning government in exile. Nǹkan máa ń bẹ o. Mo á ṣàrí díẹ̀ nínú nǹkan tó. Europe's last dictatorship is opposed by the oldest exile government in the world. Wọ́n pè wọ́n ní place. The rather of the Belarusian Democratic Republic has improbably survived 2 world wars, 70 years of Soviet occupation, and nearly a century in exile. Wọ́n ní government tí wọ́n. Presently they are in Canada. Wọ́n pè wọ́n ní ẹjẹ́ increase the front end here. Àwọn kan máa ń wà lórí big screen. Ẹ má bínú ẹni tẹ́ ní small device. And this article was in 2016. Even ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation. So kò ń ṣe pé mi mo kọ́, ìdíkókó mo kọ́. Belarus government in exile. They are known as the rather of Belarusian Democratic Republic, BDR, is part of a dying tradition. After Ogun World War II, government in exile were often creatures of the Cold War and vanished alongside the Soviet Union. But the country were in existence. Today, only a handful remain. The descendant of the ousted monarch and a few determined partisans from a failed state. The oldest of them all is the Rada, RADA, which, despite governing for less than a year, has improperly survived 2 world wars, 70 years of Soviet occupation, and nearly a century in exile. Formerly part of Russian Empire, Belarus declared independence in 1917. It's easy to declare. It's easy to declare. It's easy to declare. But one thing is, it is also easy if we don't defend it. Today, okay, in 1917, àwọn declare independence wọn kúrò lára Russia and established what they call the Rada as a provisional government. But before election could be held, the government was pushed out of Minsk. Hey, imagine, Russia gba agbára wọ́n gbá wọn dànù sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kọ́tẹ̀ tó ṣe election. Ẹ má bẹ̀rù mọ́. Before election could be held, the government was pushed out of Minsk by invading Red Army in 1918. Afterward, the Rada in exile began its slow trek across the globe, from Kaunas to Prague, Paris to New York, and finally to its current headquarters in Toronto. Today, the Rada, headed by Ivonki Sovi, has associated Belarusian Cultural Alliance in Lithuania, America, and Canada, the oldest in London, where I greeted a man in a dapper 3-piece suit and round glasses. Mikalaj Pakju is the Rada Secretary for Information and Deputy Secretary for Foreign Affairs. He ushers me to the dark front row decorated, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, Book of Eke, and this is the woman as well. She speaks in their language, the power of language.
Чим тяжейшее наше життя, тим легше і передовують веду тия, хто вірить у будучиню. Шмат тисячогоддзяў Беларусі, раскіданыя пасля Другой сусветнай вайны на свеце, верылі, што дачакаюцца таго дня, калі вернуцца ў свой родны край. На кожным святкаванні Дня волі чи Дня героїв
only president more government in exile, the oldest. At least you've learned something today as well. So where should we now, I think I've touched on everything that I've prepared for us. Timai is just saying the same thing about Lithuania. He's somebody that we use this video all the time, Professor James Kensley. So nothing more than the fact there. So now let's come back home after all our interactive section with each other. And now we can come back home a little bit and at least, now review a little bit more. Let's first listen to some of our children in this video. I love it.
No going back.
Mr. Koikimedia. Anyway, I've opened my phone line and let's discuss the topic today. As we are saying all the time, Yoruba Nation is a must, is a job that needs to be completed. Let me close on my back end so that we don't have anything that will crash the system before, let's close this. The number is as usual, is the one on the top set. Once again, the reason why I'm using that my background image is a family friend, very close to me, and anybody could be of help. She needs somebody that can donate for her. I'm sure we could have somebody that have the good heart that says, well, Mr. Koiki, I think we might be able to do something. She's not asking for any money. She's here in the United Kingdom in Liverpool. You can contact with the number there, 0151-706-5880, and mention her name. She's a wife, she's a mother with 3 beautiful children living here in the United Kingdom in Liverpool, but she is in need of, kidney donor so that she can become a very fit person. So, let's start with the first caller. Please don't come here and come and give me a disrupt the program while they're lady. Let's take the first call. Hello, caller. You're welcome to the program. I'm going. Why don't you know? I go to the boy. I mean. Benny.
One of the problems facing in the Yoruba, we have Greenland. Then, allow one to take on people who invade one, farming. Because we don't put in North, I don't have food.
Benny.
And to understand, there's a farm Kenya. There is a don't say that we don't know who that they want that.
Oh, Baroni, Mama.
Because their oil is well refined. One shape on a beautiful
okay.
That's understand. The matter is, in fact, I got to Mobilization Ben.
Yeah.
He lost one million.
KABIRU.
The price is to one bet. If I'm a distance about walk, I don't want to go Congo. They were my loss at me office one. Welcome, Pale, Rapata, Sita.
Machine.
If I had to go, we are on the ring, we are South Africa, don't pay the 1 meter. I'm going. Because only sisters who are buying Tabara, if we don't send them to Canada.
Okay.
So one time we have that.
Wow.
So one of those are the things. So being in faith, one in farm, I want to tell me to be àti Malaysia mo ti ń pè yín.
No more, mo ti rí nọ́mbà yẹn. Ìbára fún ọ lépo yìí in the 80s.
Epo ní wọn ní
nǹkan mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
yóò sọ̀sọ̀ pé kò wọ́n bí ba
pankẹ́nẹ̀ rẹ̀ ni.
the same thing pẹ̀lú gbogbo ẹ ti understand. So adẹ̀ nílẹ̀ ní south west tó jẹ́ pé ó gúrò kìíní yẹn. but wọn fẹ́ ká ṣe in fact recent kìíní mi experience mi because èmi náà ní farm. Ẹ ti understand. In fact àwọn Fúlàní yẹn wọ́n dá bàálù wọnú oko àwọn jẹun tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìkan nínú àwọn níbo èmi wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jà pé irú nọ́ọ̀sẹ̀sì òun gbogbo eléyìí kiri kankan ìyẹn ní pé kí ni pé ẹni tó ẹ̀ẹ́dì wa ní farm settlement yìí pé ìjọ tó ń wọ oko ẹ̀ tí ó lọ fọlọ́pàá mú wọn pé òun náà tún padà lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní police station. Nígbà tó lọ bá ọba máa forúkọ gbòòrò yẹn láṣìírí lẹ́kì. Nígbà tó lọ bá ọba tó ń kí fún ọba ní pé lóò pé ṣé kò ní ká wá gbé látàbíyá because some of these obas àwọn náà ní màálù. These are the people tó yẹ pé wọ́n ń sin màálù but wọn ò lè fídì màálù wọn farm product títí wá ni wọ́n fi ń fídì màálù wọn. Lọ́dún yìí wọ́n ti jẹ nǹkan kó gbogbo kókò tá a lè.
Báwo ló lóko ṣe fẹ́ wá survive? Nígbà tó owó ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ máa yáwó ni o ẹ máa yáwó láti fi ṣe business ẹni o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dẹ̀ report ọlọ́pàá kan lè gbé ẹ̀yin.
Wọ́n jẹ oko àwọn cooperative kan lẹ́kìtì àwọn yẹn lọ yáwó lọ́wọ́ central bank ní.
Gbèsè nìyẹn.
About 70 million naira wọ́n tẹ̀ jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀tọ́.
Gbèsè nìyẹn.
Wọ́n tẹ̀lé nǹkan ṣe.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
So this is what we are facing àwọn nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe and àwọn security outfit ta ní ẹ bá pè wọ́n náà wọ́n ní sáà.
Because kò wọ́n ní sẹ́rí kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n lè ṣe nǹkan kan ẹgbọ́n kan tẹ̀sán náà nísìnyí tó bá make effort Abuja máa wọlé because gbogbo tó wà ní Nàìjíríà is from Abuja and everybody is running away. So. It's getting out of hand. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá mi. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo kí o gbẹ̀yìn tẹ́ wà ní Malaysia. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run, àdúrà pẹ̀lú action, òun ló máa work. Àdúrà nìkan, à ń tanra wa ní àti lọ́bì kankan. Ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè ní kíákíá ẹ ti wọlé.
Hello, sir.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sir.
Yoruba nation no going back. Mr. Koiki, I'm calling from Yoruba nation.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sir.
Lagos.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sir.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun o. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nation Olúwa á débẹ̀ lá pẹ̀lú ògo tọ́lọ́run. Ní gbogbo ìgbà ni mò ń kí ẹ o, Mr. Koiki. I'm always with you 24/7. Ẹ̀yin là ń dúró de ògbó ahead là ń retí báyìí o. Àwa ti ń retí lọ́wọ́ dẹ̀ fún wa ṣe. Ó ti yá òun la fẹ́ gbọ́. Ṣé ti gbọ́? Àwa ti rẹ́dí o, àwa ti dúró, ó yá, òun la fẹ́ gbọ́. Àjọ máa blọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo ojú títí yẹn lágbára Ọlọ́run ni. A máa dí ipa ni. A gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀. So bó ṣe wà gan nìyẹn, à ń retí yín o, ẹ ṣé gan, God bless Yorùbá nation.
Amen. Ẹ ṣé gan, no going back. Thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé gan Alhaji. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣètò pé kíran Yorùbá bọ́ nínú oko ẹrú, whether in a small or large scale, it doesn't matter. Everybody will play different role, and self-determination is our fundamental human right, which the government signed for. Because Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Ó dẹ̀ sign àwọn oríṣiríṣi treaty káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé láti ìgbà tí Nàìjíríà ti wà ní existence. Kò dẹ̀ ẹ má máa sọ pé torí pé a ti wà tipẹ́ pé ká continue. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tí wọ́n break yìí, àwọn náà ti wà tipẹ́ 50 years, 60 years. But nǹkan kan online, nǹkan kan right. And they eventually say, no, it is more than enough. So let us remember that we would go out of Nigeria, but we need to also remember that without a small push, it will be very difficult. The number once again is +44 74 04405917. Let us listen to what our brother told us in this video, which I believe ti kó gbogbo video yẹn papọ̀ so that a lè jẹ́ kó easy fún mi láti máa lò. Mo fẹ́ lò níjọ́ yẹn bọ́ àròjù àwọn méjèèjì. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ video yẹn.
It is not in their hands because you know what? Power belongs to the people. Anything we want is what we're going to get.
Once again, I want to ask this. Do you think this dream is realizable without a war? And are you prepared to fight another war?
This dream can be realized without a war. And let me put it this way, as soon as the various ethnic groups in Nigeria realize what Nigeria means to each and every ethnic group, they will subscribe to our position.
And I've been to record company, so can you find me in Nigeria? Not think we are beneath. Hello, caller. Hello. All right. Let's continue.
So it is desirable without a war. Before the white man came, let me ask you this, because it's an interview, which means you can ask me because I can ask you. Before the white man came, was there any Nigeria? Before the white man came, did Nigeria exist? It's a simple question that I'm asking. Did Nigeria exist before?
It didn't, no.
It didn't exist. Then why are African people, black people dying over something that they did not create? Did any Yoruba man create Nigeria? The answer is no. No Yoruba man created Nigeria. No Hausa man did. No Fulani man did. No Kaduna man did. No Chukwuka man did. When you come to Nigeria, it's always a debate about it is our turn. It is our turn. It is our turn to rule. Now there are over 250 main ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you keep rotating the presidency every 8 years to each and every ethnic group, times 8 by 250. How many years are you going to get? So some people will die many times over. They will reincarnate many times over. The presidency hasn't come to them. Nigeria is a joke and an absolute mess. It was not created by black people. Therefore, it cannot be sustained by black people. I want to see an Africa where a Yoruba nation, a Yoruba mega nation extends from Togo all the way to Edo State. That's what I want. Because that is authentic Africa. I don't know why Africans are so beholden to something that is alien to them. Are you a white man? The leader that created Nigeria is a white man. What are you doing as an African defending something that a white man created out of, should I say, a racist intent? Nigeria was an African company, Royal Nigeria Company, an ordinary business venture that the British converted into a nation. And Africans are killing themselves, trying to maintain something that a white man created. Sometimes I wonder what type of God made African people. I don't understand it. And that is why you have this neo-colonialism. That is why the British High Commissioner had to go to Tinubu to ask him, how do you end this protest? Because if this protest continues, you're jeopardizing our oil. Now the kind can use it as an advantage to go and get Biafra. They ask the army to go in and kill people. You people are being ruled by your colonial masters. Your fate is not in your hand. You're in a country that is 60 years old, so to speak. There is no electricity. If I am a Nigerian, I can't come out and say I'm a Nigerian. I'll be ashamed of myself. For 60 years, you have no electricity. For 60 years, no good roads. For 60 years, no good schools. For 60 years, your politicians are traveling abroad for medical treatment. I ask you, what is there to be proud of about Nigeria? Name one thing you can be proud of. Name one thing. It's a question I'm asking you. Tell me one thing you can be proud of in Nigeria.
Nigerians are among the brightest people in the world, including the Igbo people of which are one. You're a very brilliant man. That is Nigeria in your DNA.
I was born in Biafra, not a Nigerian. Nigeria is a historical mistake.
Was there a birth certificate at that time that wrote Biafra on it?
Of course, yes. You want me to show you? I'll show it to you. I can email it to you. It's not here with me right now. I can email it to you. My person is Biafra.
I don't mind.
I will email it to you. So you see, what I'm asking is, if Nigeria never existed until the white man came, why are you as a black African man defending it? What's the white man created? Why? When you have Yorubas in the Republic, Yorubas in Togo, they speak your language, they eat your food, they dress the same way you do, you have the same culture, the same value system, the same orientation, and I'm asking you, and the white man came from Europe and said, oh, you are Yoruba from Togo, you speak French. You are Yoruba from the Republic, you're going to speak French. But you, you're Yoruba from Nigeria, you speak English. Are people not perturbed by that? That level of dehumanization, that level of subjugation. You see, the one thing that shocks me about Africa and their class of intellectuals is the fact that they are willing to swallow hook, line, and sinker anything the colonial master gives to them. And I've asked you this very question. Can you go to Europe and create a country as a black man? The answer is no. Then why must you accept what a white man is in Africa? Do you see why we are poor and very backwards? Do you see why Nigeria can never have 24 hours of electricity? Never, ever. Because the foundation is faulty. The orientation of Fulani, we were protesting SARS killings in the south. Fulani people in the north were busy having fun and laughing and smiling. And you want to do something with them. Your value system, your reasoning, your understanding, your orientation is never ever be the same. Never be the same. Why did Britain leave the EU? Then I'm asking you, are they not Christians? Are they not Democrats? Are they not, don't they believe in free trade and voting people in and voting them out? But then, why did Britain leave the EU? Why? The same Britain that left the EU is asking me not to leave Nigeria. Nigeria that was only 100 years old. Your grandfather was also Nigerian. Was not. So why must you throw away the history of your family, the rich history of your Yoruba people? Because a white man called the place Nigeria. Why must you do that? Why? Can I go to England and name them and name Albania and say all your history is now gone? We are doing our ancestors a disservice. And let me tell you why Black Africa cannot go forward. Some people, not you, some people accepted this nonsensical balkanization of Africa with their useless flag independence. And your ancestors are in the grave. Your ancestors that existed before the white man was born, they are in the grave. You jettison their history and their identity. You banish it, you denigrate it, you insult them by accepting this garbage called Nigeria, and you want them to be happy with you. That is why no black African country can see development. No.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
For your head, you. Abdusalam na fake man. Na military man come tell una say una get constitution. No be that na lie o, na fake, na fraud o. That get constitution. Na in dem take say close to na eye o. Make una wake up, make una wake up.
Wow, and we are back again. Almost 2.5 hours into the broadcast. We're still about half an hour before we start winding down. Just to summarize some of what we have discussed for the benefit of those that have joined us in the middle of the program. Way forward in the next few days, weeks, so that we can all unite and get the hell out of Nigeria. There will be a lot of mobilization. Mobilization does not literally mean that you are going to give people money. I don't think Dr. IGBOHO was giving anybody money, apart from the one that he was spending when those that were moving out, in convoy with him. But àwọn tí wọ́n lọ ń bá ní Èkìtì, ní Ọ̀ṣun, ní Oǹdó, ní gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti lọ, nobody was kind of induced just as the government have done in the past. I'm talking about the fraudulent politician. And this is the message that countries are waiting for us. But they're not waiting for us on the social media. They are waiting for us on the reality. Hello, caller. Okay, he's not aware, so I'm just going to let him go. There's no point, and that's also a call that could be private, it could be anything. So in there's no point asking Chimu. Once again, Moki Bugua, Nibiti Etin Darapo, Edeka Fisi, Emiwape, Into Shele in 1989. Tí àwọn kan fi sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ. Òun náà ló ṣe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ nísìn. In tó fi dùn àwọn èèyàn tán náà fẹ́ lọ. Òun náà ló gbọ́dọ̀ máa dùn àwa lọ́kàn tàbí fi lọ. Hello caller, ẹ ti wà lórí ètò.
Hello bàbá mi.
Àgbọ̀ yín káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
Ṣé rí àwọn Nàìjíríà lógún ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí látàárọ̀? Gbogbo bẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo àwọn ìlú tó gba òmìnira. Ṣé ìlú Stansan ni àbí ìlú
Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Yeah.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi colleagues mi níbi iṣẹ́ ó máa wá láti ìlú ẹ̀ £20 ní ticket láti ìlú ẹ̀ ní London. Ó ti ń bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ for 7 years ní company tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́. Tó bá ti ṣe 5 years á tún padà á tún lọ ṣiṣẹ́ nílùú ẹ̀. Àgbo olóhùn lè gbé ní Britain ẹ̀. I can't leave my house. Olóhùn kan máa ń fi London every month òun wá fi ṣe holiday. Ṣé imagine? Ìlú tó jẹ́ pé under 3 million náà wà ó náwọn ọ̀dún 3 million. And àwọn Nàìjíríà tẹ̀ wọ́n dúró pé kẹ́fí kan bá fẹ́ jáde wọ́n dúró kan máa fún wọn lówó kan tó jáde. Wọ́n ti jẹ breakfast o, wọ́n sì máa jẹ breakfast. Wọ́n yìí máa jẹ breakfast wọn kékeré dé náà rí wọn tí rí kankan. Because wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tún bọ́ǹbù kan àbí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tún pa àwọn kan ní local Abuja. 7 minutes mo ṣe rí lórí social media.
Wow. Ìgbẹ́fẹ̀ tí pípì.
Wọ́n ti kọ́kọ́ lọ, wọ́n ti ná àwọn ìyàwó, wọ́n ti mú àwọn tán lè bú lọ. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ ń gbé sórí social media sìn. Ṣé nǹkan tí àwọn Nàìjíríà fẹ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa nǹkan táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ máa kó fẹ́ jẹ́ kílẹ̀ Yorùbá dìbò? Ó kó àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ kéréje kò safe. Because ọlọ́run máa jẹ kán bò ń bá àdìmọ́. Each time tí bá ti lọ sí Ìjẹ̀bú, wọ́n tẹ̀ tí wá mọ̀ mí pé mo máa ń kéde. Mo ń kéde ni pé nǹkan báyìí ló ń lọ because most people wọ́n kàn ń gbọ́ ni wọ́n rí mọ̀ nǹkan tá a wà up to. And this job is not only on social media only. Wọ́n sọ ọlọ́mọ àìkéèdì kò di àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Gbogbo àwọn kan stupid people wọ́n kàn sọ shit nínú social media. Mo wo meeting tí wọ́n ṣe bó ṣe náwó bó ṣe pẹ̀lú náà sọ lórí social media. I think it was yesterday and day before yesterday. Wọ́n ti àwọn ẹlòmíràn máa wí pé wọ́n ti dá bílíọ̀nù náà kìíní. Gbogbo owó tí wọ́n dá $1,000 lọ́ fẹ́ kú lórí ẹ̀. Àwọn Yorùbá wọ́n ní kí wọ́n ronú wọn fẹ́ ronú rárá. Wọ́n fẹ́ ronú rárá. I've called you on your private nígbà tó sì lórí show.
Okay.
But what is really going on? Alẹ́ tó ṣe pé fún ọmọ Yorùbá náà. Tó wá di pé gbogbo máa everybody kàn pọ̀ sí social media kó tó yẹ kó máa sọ ọ̀tọ̀. Nísìnyí wọ́n ti ra sticker for so many people. Wọ́n ti ra sticker, wọ́n ti ra token àbí kankan. Wọ́n kàn máa post àwọn tẹ́ni wọ́n máa ṣe gbàyàgbàyà tó wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kúkú ọ̀rọ̀ òṣì. Tó nǹkan tó yẹ ká rán àárọ̀ Koiki. What you are doing, you are enlightening a lot of people. When you are doing it, àwọn nǹkan tí mo mọ̀ lẹ́nu mo mọ̀ lórí show ẹ̀. That is nǹkan tó yẹ káwọn èèyàn máa show ìyẹn tó máa show. Kì í ṣe pé kó máa búra wọn, kó máa bú gbogbo àwọn èèyàn. This is not how we started all this agitation. Listen, because of wọ́n dúró tilé wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí búra, wọ́n ti ń ṣépè, wọ́n ti ń ṣe gbogbo. What's wrong with Yorùbá mi? Lè ṣàánú wa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. A lè máa lọ báyìí. A bá fẹ́ kúrò nílùú. I've been living here for 30 years. I'm fed up of this country. Wọ́n ti sú mi. Mo kàn lè rọ́jú ni. I'm going to Nigeria in 2 weeks time. Ẹ̀rù bà mí. I can't sleep. Àwọn táwọn alábọ̀dà ń jà fún yín, àwọn kígbe à ń ṣe pẹ̀. Èyí tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà àti àwọn tó wà lábọ̀dà bí nítorí orí wọn ò pé. Kọ́ máa búra wọn tó wọn máa ṣe pẹ̀ tó wọn máa bú àwọn kan. Tẹ́ bá lè ṣe show is not compulsory kẹ́ máa agitate ẹ wá show èdè ìṣe wọ́n fi wá ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́. There's one of my cousins tó jẹ́ kó súnmọ́ Tinubu ó send gbogbo rubbish táwọn èèyàn send sí mi mo ní ìṣe fake ó ní bàbá ti fi kíní sílẹ̀ Ìgbòho ti fi kíní sílẹ̀ ṣé kò sọ fún ẹ ó ti fi ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ mo sọ fún ọmọ nílò because you are here that just mean because our family ẹ pé ọmọ tún kó àwọn yẹn ọ̀hún rí jẹ ìyàn míì ní pé gbọ̀ngàn wáyé tó ṣe lọ gbé Nàìjíríà.
Nobody's gonna live there. There's no security. It's not safe. Nigeria is not safe. Everybody knows that.
Wọ́n sọ pé àwọn Yorùbá àwọn tí àwọn tó ń pariwo lórí social media pé tó ń pariwo tó ń ṣépè tó ń kura àwọn ló jẹ́ kó máa rí wa bá sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ló jẹ́ kó máa ṣe wá sí yẹ̀yẹ́. Look at what happened in Christmas Day. Ó yá àwọn tó lọ sílé Tinubu Koiki.
Yes.
Like more than 1,000 tọ́lọ́ ń jẹ wọ́n sọ pé ebi ń pa àwọn lọ́jọ́ ọdún.
Reality. That's Nigeria is too big to take care of anybody. It's as simple as that. If people don't understand that, then we're in problem. Nigeria is too big to take care of anybody. Yeah. The email is info@koikimedia.com. Thank you so much. We see how it goes. We see how it goes.
I don't call the show and be causing people. I call the show to tell the people
Okay. Thank you so much. While I was going on my Twitter, you can also send it to musakalam@gmail. I'm just sending that to you for those person requesting from my email. Morinda Yawabimeleke, Dr. Benjamin Asaiyo, and the rest of you on Instagram and all the platforms as well. This is just an issue IGBOHO from Italy because my program is more than 3 hours. I haven't got the strength. So we can wind down. How Britain's Labour government facilitates the massacre of Biafrans in Nigeria to protect its oil interest. This is a declassified UK. Our man information, I'm sure you know what it means when you say something is declassified. On the 50th anniversary of the end of the Biafra War, the world worst humanitarian crisis in the late 1960s. Declassified British files show that Harold Wilson, government secretly armed and backed Nigerians' aggression against the secessionist region. The then Labour government secretly provided large quantities of ammunition to the Nigerian federal government, which by early 1970 had crushed an attempt by the country's eastern region of Biafra to gain independence, which it had declared in May 1967. During the 3 years of war, up to 3 million people died as Nigeria enforced a blockade on Biafra, causing widespread starvation amid considerable international opposition to the conflict. British policy was mainly shaped by its oil interest. Declassified government document from the time show our direct interest at trade and investment, including an important stake by Shell and BP in the eastern region, the Foreign Office noted. A few days before the outbreak of the war in 1967, investment by Shell and BP, then a joint company in Nigeria, was partly owned by the British government, amounted to around £200 million at the time. The company was the largest producer of oil in Nigeria, most of which was in Biafra. And you remember what Dr. Ugo told us in one of our videos after she became very popular on the social media. Let's just back it out with that video.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us
which was this country of Nigeria, where they kind of took a bunch of independent nations who don't have anything to do with each other, don't even speak each other's language, don't relate. Many of them were even enemies and warring at the time. Smushed them all together and drew these arbitrary lines around them and called them countries and named those countries. Right. And then said, now y'all get along and do a country for us and be a union for us. And then go through, contentious, bloody independence processes that never really yield any real independence. You're still part of a commonwealth afterwards. True. And you have the eternal meddling in your affairs and the eternal extraction of your resources and the eternal fomenting of divisiveness and infighting in order to be able to control you. This is what an oppressor does, a colonizer does. These are tactics and strategies of dominance. Right. We were subjected to that as a larger unit of Nigeria. And then when the Igbo people said, we want our own thing, let's go and do that. Well, it so happened to be that the territory that this new country of Biafra was going to be in included very, very rich oil reserves. Mm. And the British were not going to let go of that. Wow. And the people that they had put in power, their puppet Nigerian governments weren't going to do that either because they needed it for the Nigerian project. Right. And Britain needed it for its own interests and uses. So Great Britain got directly involved in this civil war and in the war for independence and decided that they would do everything to make sure that Biafra did not go. Wow. And this everything meant directly funding genocide of the people.
Well, you heard it very well. Britain funded, because of the interest of their, engagement in Shetonche, they were extracting a lot. I didn't see any email. I don't know whether you sent it to Koiki, info at Koiki, or you actually sent it to Gmail. I was actually to say, well, if not, I'll deal with that later. I just spotted my mom and I said, welcome to the program as well. Good evening to all our Biafra brothers. We're all in the same situation. I think, as much as there's a lot of tension or tense, not tension, everybody's tense, it seems that, but we are now losing the actual fight with the, not the Fulani in the forest we are fighting. I don't think some of you understand. You think it's just Fulani that you're fighting. I love when people say, we are fighting the world power that is doing a lot of business in Nigeria, and they don't care whether we survive or not. They don't care how many people die, whether you die of illness, whether you die of hunger, whether you die of something. And we saw that. This has been happening. Oh yes, some of us we survive, maybe one way or the other by running out of the country. It doesn't matter. And when people say we are not at war, I'm asking myself, what do you mean by that? But this man can't be lying. I don't think this man is lying. 1 minute, I'm just trying to bring a video of one of our professors. So when people say, we are not at war, but this man can't be lying.
What do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil.
We have to be civil.
Mobilization.
You heard that very well.
And
mobilization.
Keep waiting for this to be.
Sherry, mobilization. The power of the people, to hold the system to account for the death of Adugo, for the death of people, for the economic sabotage, for the insecurity, for everything. That alone is a mobilization. And this mobilization won't happen if we all just sit down on the social media. It's good to be here talking to each other, but it's another thing to have the structure to push the message on the ground. We don't disagree with anybody. But we are here to tell us that we need the Biafra as much as they need us. Not because we are going to run the same government. I'm not sure whether Latvia and Lithuania, they're running the same government. They're running different governments. But they needed each other to get the hell out of the Soviet, danger that they were in. So, gbogbo àwọn tá à ń rò pé bóyá, nídìí àwọn Biafra as an example. Just ìjọba. And you cannot tell those that are evil to go out of our society. Ṣèbí wọn náà ṣe ń gbé l'Amẹ́ríkà, even though they might say they don't like us. But at least we're living there. Ó dẹ̀ ní reason to ṣe ń gbé níbẹ̀. I live here in UK and I'm not entitled to public recourse. If we have benefit, does not mean that everybody will be entitled to that benefit. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ mi ní benefit níbí báyìí? Why is it that the British government refused to give me benefit even though I've stayed here more than 24 years? Ta ló bá kọ́kọ́ gba benefit as a Commonwealth citizen? Ta ló bá kọ́kọ́ gba benefit as somebody that Britain is taking a lot out of Nigeria legally or illegally? I should be the one to be enjoying more here in UK. I better understand nǹkan tí mo ń sọ. So, but everybody now is trying to push a different. I want push the effort. Èmi ò ní time láti máa push it, but I'm just gonna prove myself to them that we need facts and figures to prove ourselves, which is what I've been doing. Ẹgbọ́n sókè ní kíákíá, à ń gbọ́ yín.
Ọ̀pẹ̀ pẹ̀tọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ àgbò wa kò ní gbọ́dọ̀ lọ. Gẹ́gẹ́ mo ti sọ ní àná náà, same thing ẹ̀wù ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bí àwọn pípé ẹ jẹ́ ká cooperation la need nsìn. Kí wọ́n jọ ọ̀rọ̀ it's not time for talking, it's not time for fighting. This is the time that all of us need to come together and we should stop pointing, accusing finger. Eléyìí ni ò ṣe dá, ẹ̀tọ́ ni ò ṣe dá. Bá a ṣe máa wá gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tó máa parapọ̀. Even àwọn tó wà ní Nàìjíríà, èmi làwọn OPC ní, Ìbà Gani Adams ní, bá a ṣe máa gbé everybody, àwọn Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà ní, àwọn hunters ní, bá a ṣe máa ṣe meeting láàrin ara wa because a lè ṣe kí ni without àwọn ara wa. Àwọn people náà, àwọn ní náà, they still have followers. They can bring into these struggles. Kẹjọ wà kájẹ́ ká limit ẹ̀ lórí social media àti rojọ́ jù àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ti ń sọ nǹkan tó yẹ kó máa sọ. So nǹkan tó ń fún mi concern lórí movement yìí nìyẹn sá.
Okay, all right.
So nǹkan tó ń bẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni, thank you so much. Once again, okay, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. We are just about less than 15 minutes before I start, winding down this evening. As we say to ourselves, let's just complete what Professor Wale Soyinka was saying one more time.
So what do they expect of us
now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition.
It's not unacceptable for me as well. Lugard is just smiling at us that when we are ready, we will chase the spirit of 1914 amalgamation from our land. We are not pushing that out, but we are trying and we are still making effort. But the effort involves myself, you, those at home, get the message to them. If not, politicians are so much interested to keep Nigeria and Britain continue to say, we are doing everything. We know there's crisis in Nigeria. As long as their citizens are advised, and those are they will advise me as well, because even though I'm not a British citizen, but at least they will advise me and say, Koiki, don't go home because there's danger. And if you're going home, try to make sure you stay within Lagos State. Apart from the fact that the DSS might be looking for somebody like me, should I go home? I won't be able to take any more calls as we are going to wind down in just 11 minutes. Thank you so much for everyone that have joined us. Whatever happened in the 1989, we can still repeat the same thing in 2023. You will definitely have to rewind back and see the picture of how Lithuania, 2 million people line up for more than 400 miles, telling the world that technology they were only able to pass message with a small little radio communication, and people came out. This time around, wọ́n ti gbọ́ wa dáadáa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ lọ́jọ́ káwọn èèyàn gbọ́ wa. gbígbọ́ wa yan títò, blah, 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 and everybody wants to point finger. I was also able to prove to you that there was a manual and a guide for every one of us that wants that manual and guide. Is on koikimedia.com. Go and study that. We don't have to agree with everything they wrote in there, but Professor Banji Akintoye gave us a manual and guide. And that manual and guide is what they were using, whether it is too slow for you, whether it is not too slow. But in between that, we saw that a lot of other things cropped. In between that, Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho was pinned down to Benin Republic. In between that, so many things have happened. And at the end of the day, if anybody is saying, "Oh, we have not done anything in 3 years," it's a lie. A lot of things have been done in 3 years. In 3 years, we have told the federal government that we are not joking. We just need to wrap it up right now. That's all. Hey, teach in 3 years. Oh, in 3 years. In 3 years, Yoruba nation. We were able to strangle the Nigerian government to an extent. They were scared. They were very, very scared of us, and they're still scared of us. But we need to tell them that we are not fighting them, but we will take ourselves out of that shithole amalgamation that this man you're looking at there, this man, okay, this man, Lugard, kept us all in together. Don't deceive yourself that a nation is already coming to us if we have not knocked off the one that is currently in there. And if we are saying that we should knock it off slowly, then that means everybody is talking about 2023 election. It's as simple as that. So then why all this message of one coin loss in 2023? 2023. Everybody, every one of us in 2022. Everybody is in 2023. Èyí ti ìjọ karùn-ún nínú oṣù àkọ́kọ́ inú oṣù 2023. So it is not yet a complete job. So we need to knock it off completely. Ká dáwó wálẹ̀. But later ní ayé ká dáwó wálẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Kó má bàa di wàhálà, kó má bàa di ogun, kó má bàa di crisis, kó má bàa di anarchy. Then somebody else is pushing us to 2023. It's as simple as that. I'm not taking any more calls. I just in your Wi-Fi and kúrò. Don't distract me. Abibeko, we are still in that. I will look into that chica. I can't look into that now. I'm winding up my program. I'll probably use that towards my next program. I cannot, deal with that now. I need to wind down now. So, I get a message here. So, these trying to knock off, I have said it. I'm all about Nigeria. We don't have to agree with Baba Akintoye views and all that. But let us push ourselves and tell the government that we are not joking. And that's the message. Well, don't try to knock off, somebody and then you think that you are more smarter than them. Because at the end of the day, the message on jáde ní gbogbo last year, wọ́n kó gbogbo yín lọ sí 2023 ni, gbogbo wa ti wà ní 2023 all together, and Nigeria is still standing. Nigeria is still standing. So what is the essence of wọ́n kó gbogbo wa lọ sí 2023? Gbogbo akọ́lá ti jẹ́ wà ní 2023 yìí. Every one of us is in 2023, including myself. But these trying to portray somebody as a bad. Our get it right. We must be joking. We must be fooling ourselves. And that's why the world is laughing at us. The world is just laughing at us. And now coming to 2023. And even the second part, they've not completed the job. So, in 2023. And when it costs slow it down. Ká máa ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀, ká máa knock ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀, and eventually election wa bá gbogbo wa nínú ẹ̀. So ta ló wá ń fún lára wọn? Ta ló ń fún lára wọn? Ta ló ń fún lára wọn? Àwọn àkọ́ni náà ká gba ní kíákíá, àwọn àkọ́ni náà a máa gba, but ẹ jẹ́ ká rọra máa gba lọ báyìí, ká gba lọ báyìí. But kò síbi kankan tẹ́tí lè gbà bẹ́ẹ̀, because at the end of the day, it will not take us fully out of the country called Nigeria. And àtàwa àti àwọn the next group eventually as àwọn tí wọ́n believe lè lé wọn kúrò nínú Yorùbá nation àbí ẹ máa lé àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe àwọn tí wọ́n believe ẹ máa lé wọn kúrò níbo lẹ fẹ́ lé wọn lọ. So we are not talking to each other alone. We are meant to be talking to those that are still against the Yoruba nation. Wọ́n ti wà lórí comment section, wọ́n wà nínú níta, wọ́n wà nínú ilé. Kí lẹ máa ṣe sáwọn yẹn? Nígbà tẹ́ bá ń push narrative against ara wa, kí lẹ máa ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tí wọ́n believe? Ẹ máa nà wọ́n lẹ́gba. And this is where we need to get the message right. Because there are millions of people that also believe in Yoruba nation. Kí lẹ máa ṣe fún wọn? Ẹ máa sọ pé identity wọn yóò ṣe Yoruba nation. We must be fooling ourselves. So better. Ká tètè ṣe kí ni? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, even the first lady knows that Nigeria is not safe. Ìdí ẹ̀ ló jẹ́ lọ́jọ́ kò sí Dubai. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ibi tá a máa ms. Mo kẹ́yìn tẹ́wà lórí mixlr àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí mú bíìlì wá. Ẹ̀yà wí kò sówó lórí káàdì mi ọ̀rọ̀ owó yọ. Important mixed payment decline. And this is where people listen to at least. Náà fún mídíà lówó ẹ má dáwó síbi kankan mọ́. À ń tanra wa. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí a kí gbogbo èyí tí ẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ takọ̀dá. Àwọn ilé inú wọn kàn ń dùn ni, they are happy. Inú wọn dùn bó ṣe ń lọ yìí. Kí ló máa ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé àwọn ilé? Tó bá tẹ àtàkì bá pọ̀ lórí ara wa táwọn àtàkì ara wa, kí ló máa ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé àwọn ilé? They have a lot of crowd as well, in millions. What do you do with them? So this is how far we can go tonight. We'll be back again maybe sometime tomorrow. And if you're of the opinion that Koiki, we just need a way forward. Well, I've given you a way forward in the last 3 years, and I'm still giving us a way forward. The way forward is Nigeria must be knocked down completely. Not halfway knocked down, because all I'm still saying is we're still knocking it halfway. I think knock it on the business in London in Nigeria, or local in Nigeria. Knock in Nigeria. I think knock it. We got to knock it off completely, and that way, they will understand that we are not joking. He who fails to plan is planning to fail. Self-determination is not a joke. People have died in between the time we started. Even though people naturally delay, but they were already Yoruba nation people and they died. So we can say automatically that they died in between while they were campaigning for self-determination. It is our right. Nobody can take that right from us. And if you think that maybe we can, help you, Koiki, support you, that's how you can do so, should you want to do that voluntarily. And for those of you that have done that and for one reason or the other, you're angry, you're upset, we continue to play our own role from the media perspective. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now. We'll listen to Jekoma one more time and then we'll wind it down from here. My name is OLAMILEKAN. Udaro.
ọ̀gá àdúrà ni ọ̀gá àdúrà ni Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí kò sí òmíràn.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
Thank you.